So she has the gall to call him smug right after saying, I'm better than you, and calling him smug! Are you friggin' kidding me?
Hey guys. Shad Hulk.
I can't believe this. Welcome back to the watch. Oh, holy crap, my goodness. She-Hulk episode 1.
Hulky crap.
Oh, I can't, actually, that's a good, how big do you reckon Hulk's turds are?
You know they're one of those rocks he threw at the beginning?
Yeah.
They weren't rocks.
Picture that, times it by infinity. This episode was all the bads, okay? You know how you say, like dumpster fire bad, hilariously bad, sickeningly bad? It's all of that. It is both hilariously bad, not in a good way, but we will have fun roasting this piece of crap. And it's also just sickening bad. It's made me sick. Quite literally, I am actually I'm sick.
You've not gotten used to all of the stuff that they've been giving us? Because this thing was just, for me, it was just like, yeah, okay, at least they've, like, dropped any veneer. It just, for me, it was, they're, like, being perfectly honest. That's what it was for me.
Like, that's kind of one of the shocking things. Like, if you think Marvel has not made, like, a face-off propaganda piece for all the woke things, here you go. Here's She-Hulk. This is, like, so blatantly just fueled by propaganda. It is incredible. Oh, my goodness.
I don't think it was purposefully fueled by propaganda. I think this is just the people who honestly wrote it. This is what they wanted to write.
Yeah, this is reflecting their worldview.
Like
this is one of what seems to be one of the clearest writer inserts I've ever seen in terms of their beliefs, but also their character studies. Like, this is the type of person they think is a strong person, a good person, a sassy person, everything like that. Like, they genuinely think this is their best selves. And in reality, I tweeted something rather good. Follow us on Twitter if people want to know. This was my first impression of She-Hulk, and I tweeted this out. So, She-Hulk episode 1 might have the most obliviously and unintentionally insufferable, know-it-all, entitled, arrogant, selfish, self-centered character I've ever seen. I mean, I'm not kidding. They think this character is brilliant, but she is... I don't use this word a lot, and I don't use it lightly. So when I say this character is one of the biggest bitches I've ever seen on screen, I'm not kidding. Look at Nathan. He's like, whoa.
Okay. That's up to the word.
They had to use...
Code red, everyone.
They actually had to use CG to make her that big.
Gosh. Now, we are live streaming this as well. Welcome to the live stream. Chat, good to see you there. Let us know if there's any issues, if there's an echo and things like that, or if it's all coming through good. So I've been ranting. Claudia, what do you think about She-Hulk?
Objectively, yeah, not that good. But I did find some moments to laugh at.
Me too, funnily enough.
Look, I am willing to watch the next episode. It was bad. It was very cringe, but I'm willing to watch the next episode.
Oh my goodness. So, I'm willing to watch the next episode too. Not for any of the reasons Marvel wants.
I'm paid to watch the next episode.
Yeah, that's also true. My goodness. So, this character is so awful, right? And we're going to give all the specific reasons. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how just all in they went with this entitled, bratty, selfish cow of a lady, right? And
well, what do you mean selfish?
Oh, I'll get... there's multiple levels of selfishness.
Because I think I know what you mean, but I would disagree.
Well, we'll get there then. We'll have a discussion on that. Okay, so yeah, you might notice I didn't like it. We're gonna try and give some more broader observations, and then we're gonna go chronologically through all the points that we noticed. I mean, funny. Yeah, the CGI was utter crap. Her CGI. That's like the smallest issue for the episode.
Now, fair warning, Shad. I will be playing Devil's Advocate.
Yeah.
For nothing other than this. Well, I don't know why I do it, but I will be doing it.
For what?
For this.
Why? Just be honest, Oz. Don't give it any benefit. This doesn't deserve
Well, that's
benefit
the thing.
of the doubt.
Honestly, right, I have gone through so much of this crap that I think I'm starting to come out the other side of the tunnel. Not liking anything woke, but just being like, you know what? Challenge. I like challenge.
What, I don't get.
I think the word you're looking for is cope.
Yes. Well, we all got to cope somehow.
This, unironically, is probably the worst thing Marvel has ever made.
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed the newest Spider-Man movie. Same
Really?
Level. Same level. Propaganda for me.
See, we're going to go through bit by bit because it's a crap mine. The more you look at it, the worse it gets. There are contradictions, plot holes, and everything. Now, when I was talking about how bad her character is, one of the things that kind of makes her character peak awful writing, everything, is that oblivious thing. Because remember I said I feel, made her... To them, they obliviously made her and unintentionally made her so much of a friggin' cow.
Well, they do that with all of
everything.
them.
But they honestly are unaware of it. They think all her snarkiness is like sass and comedy and everything, when she is just the most entitled, selfish cow ever. And the thing is, because they're presenting this as a good character, a well-written character, a great person, it shows that the writers honestly think this about people, and it most likely reflects their own attitudes and how they behave. Because you could not put this forward as a protagonist, well-written character with great personality and things, unless you are the biggest retard in the world, or you actually believe this about people and personality and characterization.
Well, they even said themselves in Twitter, which we didn't get around to talking about, but on Twitter, she's like, we didn't make it a courtroom drama with She-Hulk in it because we don't know how to write that.
Like, they actually, something along the lines, we lacked the ability or talent to write a courtroom drama.
I think she realized, I think it was, we realized that none of us can actually write a good courtroom scene.
Yeah.
So that is like a massive red flag, because this is the thing. An actual talented writer is capable of doing research, taking the time, taking a step back, figuring out, deconstructing what makes a good courtroom drama and everything like that, and figuring out what's work and actually make at least something passable. And look, some people have a flair for certain styles, right? But a talented writer can actually do this. Guess what? I'm speaking from experience. I'm not talented, I would say. Actually, I'm not experienced in courtroom drama, but guess what? My novel has a massive final arc, which is a trial, a political, legal trial for the main character. And people write to me and say that was one of the highlights for the thing. Never written it before, but guess what? I took the time and I also figured out what is suspense, what's going to make this engaging, everything.
Why didn't they find someone to hire in the first place who had courtroom drama experience?
Great question.
They're out there.
Great question. So I can only speculate, but I get the impression that these people are so untalented that when they finally get these positions of power, these jobs in these prominent roles, they are insanely protective of them, and they will not let anyone come in those doors that could challenge their position. And so they will not get help, they will not bring on new writers that are better than them. That's my impression. These are the type of people that, you deal with.
Well, like with the movie Top Gun, they went to the guy who is like one of the best Navy pilots in the world, and they said, hey, can you design us a mission? One that could be physically done, but would be like tricky. And so he's like, yeah, okay, here's one. They got him to do it, right? And it was incredible. Like Brandon Sanderson needed advice on military weapons and armor, talk to you. If you're a writer and you don't know something's outside your field, do research or find someone within the field of research and ask them questions.
You can do research and seek consultation.
Yeah.
Hire a consult.
So, well, so far the courtroom aspect is like they just reduced it to nothing.
Really
except for a closing argument, which is like...
The closing argument, that
Closing
made me
statement.
cringe. closing statement.
It was also contradictory because it starts with, what is power and what are the responsibilities and all that stuff. And then throughout the whole episode, she's basically trying to dodge the massive responsibility that she now has of this incredible power and not taking it seriously at all and being completely selfish. I want my life and I don't care about if people die because I have the power to stop them. I'm just going to serve my stuff.
I didn't mean her. I meant the defense lawyer who was in the chamber with her at the end saying, now, did my client break the law? Yes, he did. Did he get people killed? Sure, but can we prove it? Depends on your definition of knowing. Like, are you kidding me?
I know, like what retard would say that?
Did
he get people killed? Yeah. It depends on your definitions. Oh, so you'd say, yeah, he got people killed, you retard. It's like there are multiple moments of this. As I mentioned, we're going to get into specifics, but there are multiple moments of dialogue and writing so astronomically bad. Morons wrote this.
Yeah.
You can't take any other conclusion apart from, okay, they are extremely untalented. This is not their area, and they've just gotten in because of, their tick boxes. They've got the right talking points. It's unbelievable. Oh my goodness. So, some broad observations. You already mentioned how much of a cow of a character this is. She, multiple times, not just one, Bruce is trying to impress upon her the seriousness of the situation. And if there's any credit I could give, right, to this show, they emasculate Bruce incredibly so, make him out like a goofy idiot. So they do not do justice to this character. They ruin the Hulk, but the only thing in which you might be able to give him credit for is that he kind of understands the magnitude of what's happened to Jen.
Someone said, I don't know where from or who said it, but they said, Mark Ruffalo looks like a grandma.
And so multiple times he's trying to impress upon her how serious this is, and she doesn't give a friggin' crap. She's like, it's gonna ruin my life. I need my own life. And he even says, like, we're some of the few people in the world who are able to save the world, and her response is so astronomically selfish.
What did you say?
I've got it in my notes. We'll get to it chronologically, because actually, I was dumbfounded by her responses to a lot of this, right? And then there's the next point, and then he tries to do another attack where it's like, you don't realize how dangerous you are. You could kill people and everything like that. And she doesn't give a crap. She doesn't care that she might kill accidentally because she has unbelievable strength. And when we say unbelievable strength, Hulk-level strength is world-breaking strength.
I don't think it's that she doesn't care. I think a part of it was that she was in shock and was telling herself that she could handle it.
See, no, because Bruce is trying to tell her, like, you think you can handle it, but you can't. He's the one from authority saying, I know this strength, this is really serious, it's really dangerous. And after he even explains it, she's such a know-it-all. It's like, I can handle it, I'm so perfect, I'm so great. And we'll get to the specifics. And so all of that, she is an awful, insufferable character. Then, of course, they emasculate Hulk, make him like the biggest moron idiot.
Well, they've been doing that for a while now.
I know, yeah. Constantly getting shut down and all that stuff. There are contradictions in terms of just the plot and pacing of it all. The CGI is crap. I mean, this show is, unironically, probably the worst thing Marvel has ever made.
It all blurs together for me. Yeah. It's always part of the same big green screen beast.
Why is the CGI so bad?
Because...
especially the scenes when they were getting angry at each other. It's like the movements are stiff, they look uncomfortable and awkward the whole time, they're not getting the facial expressions.
So, it's laziness, but also time constraints. They don't give the digital VFX artists the length of time to make it look better, and it's come out that...
they've taken on a show that relies on CGI.
Well, that's the lazy part. They didn't need to do it. They could have just got a really strong bodybuilder woman, and just done basic one. This could have worked really easy, right? They didn't even need to do a deepfake. Just make it someone who looks similar, and her face changes a little bit. That's what they did with the original Hulk TV show. They got Louis Ferrigno, and they just made the face change, because Hulk's face does change when they transform, and they wouldn't have needed any CGI at all.
But
it's
do
baffling.
have an established CGI Hulk. Don't you think it might have looked odd if they had a live bodybuilder next to a CGI Hulk?
No, because the CGI Hulk is in the same frame as regular people. Like when she's in Gen form, they throw into together.
That's the thing. He's a gigantic green person, right? And they're all regular people. so there's a separation. Just like we don't see spaceships, but if it was a green
Just
person
like
next to a green
aliens
person.
in a-
Well,
Yeah.
to me, it wouldn't be too much of a loss because, one, he's not going to be in here the entire series. And so when it's just her, it's going to look far more realistic if they got, like, a bodybuilder lady. Because they even with the CGI model, they didn't want her to be fully buffed out. And so they even toned down the level of muscle
just gotten,
compared to,
like,
an actual bodybuilder will have more muscle than the CGI version.
Yeah.
Well, they could, in terms of like body mass and how buff she looks, they could just gotten like a female netball or basketball star
Yes.
who wants to get into acting.
Yes, like it's unbelievable the stupidity in just the production of this show, where it seems like they've gone out of their way to make it look worse, and then they've gone out of their way to make an awful show. And so when we're talking about the broad things, also the man hating in this show it's up there. It is again
Yeah.
many examples of the man hating in this show, and laughable extreme feminist talking points where it's like she can control her anger because the patriarch has taught her so well. Look, that's a shout out to Disparu. He tweeted it out that like there's this scene where, you know, controlling her anger. I've been controlling my anger my entire life, and then she lists all the entitled, like if this was, anyway, I'm going to rant about that because there's layers to what reveals about a character in that scene as well. Look, so those are my broad observations. I think we might just go straight into the thing. Do you have any other broad comments that you guys wanted to mention?
I know that the whole point of this thing is to review and judge the show based on its merits and what happens in it and stuff like that. But I'm trying to reserve judgment at this point in certain ways, because
A measured approach, Oz.
yeah, you've taught me well. I feel like I've taught you in a different way. No, but it just, you see, like the Hulk, he's gone through a bit of a spiritual journey, right? Trying to reconcile two sides of himself, right? I've gone through a bit of a spiritual journey too over the past couple of years, and I'm starting to see that, you know, obviously, oh man, how do I say this without sounding sexist? Men and women aren't better or worse than each other. We're different. Not only are we different, we have different worldviews, and we have different personal experiences. Like, we're completely different robots, you know? Well, we're the same, but we're different.
Keep talking.
And so, I can't judge anything. Okay, so the whole women thing, like, oh, you know, anger and pain and anxiety has been my experience my entire life. I can't really judge that, right?
I see. To me, I think we can.
I don't think so.
I can comment on it. Like, I think that's a misrepresentation. Anyway, let's get into the specifics.
Okay.
So, oh boy, we will start at the very beginning of She-Hulk. We'll bring up the screen. So this is we're not going to be watching, but we will go, you know, scene by scene. So it starts with let me just make it active. So it starts with a close-up of Jen, and she's giving a kind of recitation of her closing arguments for an upcoming case. What are you laughing at there, Nathan?
That's what a great still frame that is right there.
I know, isn't that perfect?
I'm a lawyer.
And so as she's saying it, there's comments about the delivery, and the comments are coming from a man and a woman. And the woman is like, oh, it's so great, you're so perfect. And the man is like, ask her to smile more. Because sexism, guys! So
No one annoys. Well, no one annoys. If someone
People
tells
say
me,
that.
I know. This is the thing, though. They've purposely injected it because, one, it's nowhere near as common as people think. Two, nowhere near as offensive as people make it out to be. If your worst thing in your life is that people ask you to smile more, you are one of the most privileged people on the freaking planet. Okay?
Tell you what, though,
and this is the thing.
I'm pissed and someone tells me to smile.
No, but this is the thing. Sometimes there is truth to it as well. Okay? Because sometimes if you smile more, people will respond more positively to you. I ask us in
Okay.
videos to be high energy and smile and things because it makes the videos better. And
Okay.
so the fact that this is a universally horrible, evil thing, it's just come friggin' off it. But of course, that's the framing of this show.
yeah.
It's like, you
Devil's
know,
advocate though, flip that. Okay, Shad, calm down.
well,
Why
I
don't
would
you
say
talk more calmly and more quietly.
maybe,
And
but
more
but
measuredly.
to me, I want my rage to go through. But I'm not offended by if people think I should calm down. It's not like this is some sexist dog whistle that you think you're imposing an unrighteous, you know, domination over me because of my gender. It's like, oh, come off it, you know.
You are defending it though.
What do you mean?
Well, if it was so simple, like, you know, yeah, smile more. There's no problem with that.
Yeah.
Calm down. Well, I mean, I'm not being like a feminist thing. You know, it's-
No, but guess what, though? There is some situations in which being calm would be better served, right? And there are some situations when smiling is also works better for the situation. And so asking someone or suggesting, hey, smile, it's not a terrible thing.
I don't think it's very relevant to a closing statement in a serious case, though.
Yes, but that was like, why would she need to smile if she's...
So the thing is, though, all right, good point, right? So then would it make sense that an experienced lawyer would really believe that? But they've injected into the show because they want the sexism. They want her to,
Yeah.
no doubt.
They've injected it into the show because it is this thing that we hear, but it's still bad writing because it has no relevance to that scene.
And if it is actually that rare, right, and if it's so irrelevant to a closing argument, an actual smart lawyer probably wouldn't do that unless you the random chance, the very minute small chance you'd get someone who is that, it's not real. To me, there are vastly more sexist things people could do than to ask a woman to smile. I mean, come off it. But then they force it into the show to, one, frame it as this horrible thing, okay? Because later on she mentions about, all the sexisms she have to deal with, and she's so oppressed and has to deal with her anger and all that. So the show is framing this as an evil thing, when... It's like, come off, there are so much worse things than that. And this is like the first few seconds of the damn show, all right? And they're already framing it in their specific worldview. Here we go.
They cannot help it.
And so this is where it's like, ask her to smile more. And she's like, oh, shut up. He leaves. And then her assistant is... You're so good, you're wonderful, you're excellent, everything, you're so great.
She's not dressed up as a lawyer, or a paralegal, she's dressed as a therapist right now. I'm not kidding.
I mean...
I've seen it myself.
When I heard this, it's just the Mary Sue, thing again, where everyone's like... They're framing it, everyone loves you, except those evil, horrible men, but you're so wonderful, and they praise everything. Again, it gives me such strong vibes of... writer self-insert, getting all the praise that they feel they're truly deserving of, and there are a few people actually understand how great you are. And
I think I know why bad writers do that. At least for female characters, because women are very, at least in my understanding, I could be wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Get ready for the sexisms.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Seriously, they are much more emotionally responsive in the sense that, like, if they're in a room, right, and there's a particular emotion present, they will generally feel that more than... Like, guys can more, like, separate themselves from it or move on to another one, you know what I mean? Like, we can logic our way out of it and think our way out of it.
So, on average, women are usually more emotionally in tune than guys. There's an exception where guys can be really switched on and feel, but on average, that's a common psychological, observation.
Yeah, and so what I think that... this might be causing this is they want a good start to the thing, so let's hype her up. Let's hype up not only her, but, the audience.
And some girlfriends do like to compliment each other.
Yeah, vicariously.
To this level, it's like, you're so good, you're actually wonderful, like...
I do it for some people. I do it for you and your stuff, and I do it for most people, actually. Am I like this lady?
You can be complimentary, I'll give you, but not to this level. And anyway, again...
And she might just be hyping her up for the case.
You have to also reframe it to, this is a show, and everything they put in is very intentional, and what are the intentions behind it, what's the purpose, and what is it actually achieving for most audiences. And when I see this, it's just like, holy crap, the show doesn't trust me to try and find out on my own merit if this is a talented, interesting, fun person. Yes. The show needs to tell me, it's like, you're so great. Everyone, remember, she's so great, right?
Telling instead of showing isn't always necessarily bad in a story, but this is a case of bad telling, not showing.
It was cringe already.
Oh, before we go into... I've got to tell you a story from last night. Wait.
It's not going to be too much of a distraction.
It was... No, it's about She-Hulk.
Okay.
What was the thing you told me about your sister? She came in and said something?
Oh, I don't remember my sister's rants. Oh. She was just she came in and I was watching it and she goes, "What are you watching? She-Hulk?" She's like, "It sucks." And I said, "Yeah." And then she went on this whole rant about how like female superheroes exist, but Marvel's just ruining all of them. They have Captain Marvel, they made her like a bad person, and they have WandaVision who's like super powerful and stuff, and they just made her a villain for stupid reasons and then killing herself, and the whole movie was dumb anyway. And
they made Wonder Woman a rapist, unironically.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah. That's DC though.
But still, they
DC have always objectively sucked.
That's a spicy take.
Well, recently.
Okay, let that one hang in the air.
Okay, but I agree with the Wonder Woman. I liked the first movie. I liked how she was a superhero who was like.
The first movie was enjoyable.
She was strong, but she was like she saw a baby, and she was like, oh, babies, like she could be both. She could be a woman and a strong superhero. But in the second one, she's
just awful.
What the hell were they?
I know.
He's in someone else's body, and he looks like someone else to her. And
I know.
It's about it's someone else's body.
And the director in that instance, again, like self-professed, proclaimed feminist and everything like that, and then no one picks up on how insanely wrong that is. That passed every layer of inspection to the release, and no one was like.
I was.
I know. Like
I saw it. I was watching it, and it was happening, and I was like.
And it wouldn't have been hard to fix.
To me, it shows.
And I turned to everyone I was watching. I was like, "Did you guys? Is it just me or?"
I know. To me, it just shows the bubble that these people existed, and the writers, like again, the writers are oblivious to how, like, repulsive this character is in terms of her personality and how selfish and entitled she is. And the way that you'll be so oblivious to it is that they're like this. They're just reflecting their own world standards. That's the impression I get.
Let me clarify. I did like the recent Batman.
I liked it until the last act. Last act ruined it.
But objectively, Marvel have been doing better than DC. But
well, in terms of box office, but they've been going downhill. So
it's like
they have been going downhill.
Which ship can sink sooner? You know, like they're both gone.
So. As they're leaving, right, there's just this interesting line, which again shows the level of thought the writers have put in, where the assistant says, if it doesn't go our way, you can just Hulk out and blow everyone's mind. And I was like, hang on. What would the purpose of that be? And this isn't framed like, I hope you don't Hulk out if everything goes... She's saying it as a positive. It's like, we can just Hulk out. It's like, isn't the intention to just keep... At this point, the intention they frame it is that she needs to try and keep it hidden still. And that Hulking out would be wrong.
I don't think any thought went into that line.
So the line is actually utterly a non sequitur in terms of what leads A to B, right? Where it's like, if we lose, Hulk out, blow everyone's mind, that won't achieve anything or achieve anything. The reason why they put it in there, right, they needed someone to bring up, or the assistant to bring up Hulk out, so the main character Jen could then turn to the screen and say, let me explain what's going on.
Yeah.
And so it's a forced line that they put in just to justify what happens next, even though it doesn't naturally flow on at all from the logic of the conversation. So they throw in this massive non sequitur to justify or force the narrative where they want it to go, which shows an incredible lack of talent. There are so many ways that you could naturally...
would be maybe she's stressed. And
exactly.
Because she's trying to gather all of this stuff.
And it's like, you're not going to...
They could still paint her co-workers as incompetent men by having them, like, stuff up on research or something.
Or if she's moving around, she's
that's
busy
why she's
working
stressed,
hard.
because she's trying to keep everything together. They could still get the agenda they're trying to achieve.
Yes, and all the assistants go, you're not going to Hulk out, are you? Like, you said you can keep it under... And she'll be like, of course I got it under wraps. Leave. And then there's a very natural progression to bring up the Hulk subject for her to
by the
move.
way.
Oh, by the way, right? Move to the camera and then explain it.
Cringe.
But the fact that that's something so obvious and so easy to achieve in the writing and narrative right here in this scene, that they could not do something so freaking basic where they couldn't think of it and then gave her a non sequitur awful, line where she just brings it up out, like where it's out of context, it doesn't logic, shows these writers are crap.
Yeah, but here's the thing, it's not just them. This has been even the last seasons of Game of Thrones were exactly like this. Non sequiturs that make no sense and don't connect to the story in any way. And I'm starting to think maybe they're not even getting writers to write this. Maybe it's that simple.
Yeah.
They aren't people who write, let alone think, like, what do people say? How would this make sense? They're just...
And so the next line, right, is the first attempt at humour in the show. And oh boy, this lets you know the quality of humour in this show. And what it is, she says something that is not meant to be funny, but it's meant to be funny in a cringe way. It's meant to be a bad joke. And so she says, the only hulking out I'm going to do is in the legal sense. And then
what did that mean?
It's utter crap. And then the assistant is like groaning like, oh, you're so cringe. It's like, that's not even a good bad joke. That was like I couldn't believe
Well,
it.
I've got to be fair, Shad.
This is comedy, guys.
I've got to be fair. You had a lot of that in your book. The parts that were funniest were your unintentional parts with
See,
Cusack. But
exactly.
then your bad jokes were horrific.
I have people write me that they love those bad jokes. They were bad on purpose. I think I can do intentional bad humor well by the response people have said. Like, I'm not being kidding. You can actually look at reviews. Multiple people say their favorite character is Arik, and they loved his bad humor.
My favorite's Cusack.
Yeah.
I loved his good humor.
And so Cusack is situational awkward humor. Okay, that was also
How
intentional.
could you write that so well, Shad?
I've experienced. and Arik's humor was purposely cringe bad joke humor, dad joke humor that he just loved because he's such a wholesome guy. Everyone else hated. And people, my audience, the fans of the book, really, really liked it. So, yes, I think I can judge this really well. This joke here is just utter crap. It's
not a joke.
It's not even a good bad joke. It's
not a pun.
It's not even like a real
sarcasm.
groan. Yes.
Yeah.
There's no punch.
A joke is meant to add levity and, relieve tension, but this one just took, like,
It's
at
not
least...
even a play
It's
on
not even
words.
properly. It's not
Yeah.
a proper pun. I'll hulk out. The only hulking we're going to do is in a legal sense. It's like,
A better response would be if her friend looked at her and went,
Yeah. Yeah, but this joke, like chipped a little part of my soul off, and it's gone now. Goodbye, soul.
so. One of the people said that this show is supposed to be a comedy, right? Like, wasn't
saw
the
it
right?
was supposed to be a courtroom comedy, and there's never been anything like this in Marvel before.
It's certainly laughable.
This is the level of humor you could expect, guys. I'm
A
not
courtroom
kidding.
comedy written by people who can't
Don't
write
write
courtroom dramas.
Keep talking. I need to make
Oh.
or mute us.
I
I
don't
need to
have
clear
anything
my
else to
my
say
sinus
right
because
now.
remember. Oh, look, it's so.
It's like an eldritch being with 1,000 mouths clearing his nose at once. Like,
I told you this show makes me sick.
that was an audible hazard right there. Oh man. No, you have,
Oh,
yeah,
maybe
sure.
we'll leave the sound on next time for you guys to appreciate it.
Do you want to get sick of it?
Yeah, like so. Anyway, she speaks to the screen. Is like, I better explain it. And so the fourth wall breaking. I know she does this in the comics. Oh, by the way, if anything I criticize in this show, and people say, but it was in the comics, means my criticism would apply equally to the comics. If it's bad, it's bad, okay? Sometimes, though, they do things trying to mimic what's in the comics, like the fourth wall breaking, but they don't do it nearly as witty or effectively in the comics because they're incompetent. That's the impression I get here. The fourth wall breaking is, at the moment, jarring, out of place, not adding to the show.
The first time she breaks the fourth wall,
She
that was the best instance of breaking the fourth wall in the whole show, in the
But
whole episode.
she was surprised by it. Like, oh, I'm doing this now. And then Hulk looked at her. And that's the other thing. Like,
Why
fourth wall
shouldn't she
breaking
be
is usually this meta thing that exists outside of the universe. But the fact that Hulk looked at her when she broke that, it's like, what? She's actually doing it in world?
Maybe it's like a Hulk thing, and he has like some
He
Hulk
doesn't do
senses.
it. But I was expecting it going in, and even then it jarred. Like, I'd read it's got fourth wall breaks, and even then it surprised me. Have you heard of a show called, bloody hell, what's it called?
Fleabag?
No, it's got Kevin Spacey, he plays the president.
Yeah. House of Cards.
Have you seen that show?
I've seen a couple of episodes.
He does fourth wall breaks all the time.
I know,
And they're always incredible.
Really
Kevin
natural.
Spacey, scumbag, but he's really good as an actor. And they're really great fourth wall breaks, natural everything, and it's a perfectly serious thing. But this show is a joke.
It's absolute crap, and not a joke in a good way, because they would be happy if it was just a joke, because they want it to be a comedy, but they can't even pull that off.
Yeah, it's like the surgeon forgot to sew you back up sort of joke. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Well, the first time she does it in the show, is cringe.
Yeah, and every other time.
Hi guys.
I
Let
know.
me just tell you about my story.
You're probably wondering how I got here. What that Hulk reference was.
I felt like I was watching like a Saturday teen Disney drama thing. Like, hi guys, you're probably wondering how I got here.
It's so bad.
I guess I'm a Hulk now.
For me, it got literally the worst part of everything. Like, all media I don't like, overly sassy yet not engaging or charismatic woman, hate that.
And the sassiness was entitled arrogance.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so great.
Bad
It was
fourth
just
wall
like,
breaks.
ugh.
How did I get here? Flashback story. I can't stand that stuff. And it was so bad that I think it looped back around horseshoe style, and I've actually started to enjoy the pain.
Yes, that's me. I was like, Marvel's dead to me now. Now, look, so many of the properties I love is just gone. I'm dead inside. All I can do is just laugh at the destruction and pain.
You know what I
I'm
realised?
black-pilled with Marvel now.
You know what I realised? We're not actually knights or medieval characters, right? We're Cenobites from Hellraiser. We are explorers in the further regions of bad movies and TV.
Is this fourth wall breaking right now?
No. Oh.
So, this fourth wall break, cringe as hell, and then she says, let's back to focus on the fun lawyer show, right? And I was like, when I heard that, I was like, how presumptuous of you to think that this show is fun. It's like, it's again, like, they can't trust the audience to come to this because it's all bad. So they try to tell you, she's so great, and this show's fun, guys. And even in the trailer, like, they said, you will like her. They're like telling us, you will like her. This is a fun lawyer show. She's a wonderful, excellent character. If you don't, oh, you're a sexist bigot. They've already gone that. They've already done that. Where the response to criticisms are, they're just trolls, sexist bigots. By the way, this has been getting review bombed in the sense that just people who, because it's sending the message, are review bombing 5 stars. If you have any objective standards at all, this is nowhere near a 5-star. But they've been calling all the 1-star reviews, which this show, 1 star is generous. This show is a 0, right? Those are the real reviews. And if you look at the reviews, there's like all these 1 stars and all these 5 stars and all these 0 stars. And there's nothing in the middle. But anyway.
But I don't even think you need objective standards to enjoy.
I know.
If you're high on Oxycontin, you couldn't enjoy this show. This show is awful.
But crazy extreme feminists will love this. This is their
It
catnip.
did get... I think it accidentally got some good laughs out of me. Not like...
Really?
Like,
All
really
right, let us
like
know where they are. Let us know where they are. Like, I laughed in pain.
And I think they were like edging onto an accurate cousin dynamic for some people. If you are like, if you have a big family and lots of cousins, I have lots of cousins. So I think they were kind of edging onto a sassy smack talk cousin relationship. But they didn't get it. They didn't quite
more
get
so,
it. I
all
felt like that's what
all
they
the
were
sassy
trying to
smack
get.
talk made her come off like the biggest narcissist, up herself, know-it-all, arrogant cow.
They can't be too big as narcissists. I'm right here.
Because Oz actually isn't. We know, we love Oz, but this is just like, my goodness, and I forgot what I was going to say. Damn it!
Because I had to make it about me.
Yeah, I know. I had it in the.
But cousin dynamic, yeah, I get that.
Oh, I think it kind of came and then it escaped again. Damn it! It kind of came back. It's coming. It's the reviews, the review bombing. That's it. So they've already been trying to attack critics as trolls and sexist and everything like that. Where you see it on the wall. There's subliminal messages that you will like her, and this is a fun lawyer show. And if you don't agree with this, you're a sexist bigot.
That's not really subliminal though.
That's pretty blatant, isn't it?
It's like, yeah.
and the proof is in the pudding, because now the critics, people who even pointed out that the CGI was bad, the director came out and said, "Oh, it's just a sexist, expression dog whistle of the patriarchal desire to control women's bodies." The unbelievable bullcrap of that statement. Just watch our video on it. We have a whole video dedicated to that comment alone. They have to reach that much to defend legitimate criticisms where anyone with half a brain can look at this show and look at the CGI is horrible, and then they'll actually attack people for being sexist for criticizing that awful crap CGI. It's unbelievable. The possessed people making this show and the cope and defense for it and the ideological agenda behind this is black and white.
And there have been shows featuring females. There's even a Fleabag. That's a comedy drama that features someone who breaks the fourth wall, winning awards.
Yeah, I mean,
written by a woman. She started her own show. She's been writing lots of comedies, lots of dramas that get lots of awards. They're out there. Good stuff is out there. And
all our criticisms for this is not because she's a woman or anything like that. It's because she's an awful character and this is an awful show. And it's so dumb because, of course, there are hundreds of female characters we love. One of my favourite all time is Alita Battle Angel. I think she's one of the most lovely characters in recent media, honestly. And so, but that's their defense. If you criticize this, they're already doing it. You're sexist, you're bigot, and everything like that. To me, that's just an acknowledgement. They can't defend it on its merits. They know it's crap. Because if they defend it on its merits, they'll be able to list objective things why the criticisms are wrong. But their response is trolls and sexism. And
that's just the response now. That is the response. Sexist, racist.
yeah, they're doing it with Rings of Power already. They're trying to get ahead of it, and they're using the this is particularly despicable. The actors who are minorities and everything like that. Now they're using them as shields. At saying any criticisms of the show against her is that you're just attacking these actors who happen to be minorities. No, but criticisms of these actors usually because they are saying awful things or they're awful actors, everything like that. And this show is just. It's a dumpster fire, beginning to end. Utter crap. Okay, so moving on. It moves on to the next scene. She's in the car, and
I think this scene is sexist.
How so, Oz?
Just because she's a woman doesn't mean she has to crash the car. Okay? There are plenty of great female drivers.
Way to perpetuate stereotypes.
In fact, almost every female driver I've been in the car with has been a good one.
And I think about the situation, right? The situation is so stupid about the ship just... Anyway, I'll get to that, right? But when something appears in front of you, she does have a split-second decision she can make. She can swerve left or she can swerve right. Left was like an embankment. Right was a cliff.
Of course they're going to... Oh, wait, they swerved to the right? I was expecting them to go to the left. Hardcore.
What side of they sit on the left side? When they're driving in America?
They're on the right
yes.
side.
Right side. No, that's the left side right there.
What side do they sit on?
They're sitting on the left.
Look at the screen. That's where they're sitting on.
Oh, there's a screen up there.
So that's the left.
And to her side is the cliff?
Yes.
Because when people are in a car crash, they will naturally drive away from it. And because she's sitting on the left side, she will naturally drive to the left because for her that's further away.
Well, interesting point. And also, if she swerved to the left,
that's why
she would... grind into the embankment, which is vastly... Look, it's not safe, but it's safer than driving off the edge of a cliff, where there's a cliff.
Well, that's why it's safer for passengers to sit in the back than in the passenger seat, because the driver will naturally protect themselves.
Isn't it funny that sometimes, like they sneak some truth into it? I keep saying that. They sneak some of the actual truth accidentally.
Yeah.
Just like in the show, she drives herself, She-Hulk, off the cliff. So does this show at the very beginning.
There's more metaphorical things like this. Gotta give credit to where this, because this was from Disparu on Twitter. I've been having fun on Twitter, but Disparu mentioned that when they were putting on the makeup on her, they don't bother cleaning the crap, the dirt on her. They just put the makeup over, almost metaphorically so. It's like they're trying to hide the just awful mess underneath. Like there's metaphors that you can find in this. So straight off the bat, Bruce is describing that, now his armor, he can turn into a human form because of bullcrap magic tech device I made. And that's his, like, my arm is healing, and then he says his arm is healing in human form. So not only is this just made up bullcrap, it doesn't make logical sense. His enhanced healing is when he's in Hulk form, but he literally says his arm is able to heal when he's in human form, when all observation and comments about his power, that shouldn't be how his power works. Again, they don't think about this, the writers.
And this isn't really to be fair to the writers. They did have to find a way to get him in human form and her in human form in some sort of accident that allows his blood to get into hers. They had to get that situation sorted. This is probably the cheapest way.
But isn't it in the comics, she is in an accident and he's the only person with the blood that can be given to her?
Yep,
it's blood transfusion.
They do a full blood transfusion in the comics, which is more justified. I still have issues with...
Not like a zombie...
Yeah, a couple of drips.
Where she gets infected with Hulk.
I know. I've got more things written about that. We'll get to it chronologically. But anyway, so that's the scene. Already... How long are we into this episode? We are 3 minutes in, and look at all the crap that we are unpacking in this. This is such a condensed crap cake.
In Japan, they call a crab cake a Naruto, I believe.
We got more to go. So,
do they?
Yes, I'm pretty sure Naruto. Oh no, fish cake. Damn it.
Okay. So, then he asks. This self-flagellating crab is like, why are you eating
Shad likes
Cheetos
crabs
with chopsticks? And then she's like, "Oh, so you don't get Cheeto fingers? I'm a genius."
That's the most
that's something
BuzzFeed
people
like
do.
article online. Yeah, life hack, everyone.
Where's the chopsticks for?
Quirky.
Where's the chopsticks for KFC and fries so I don't get greasy fingers?
So now they're unironically posing this as genius when it's like, oh, so to eat, Cheetos now, product placement, they need chopsticks wherever you go.
Written by ex-BuzzFeed writers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes,
Or
it
those
is.
who read the articles and were like, that's amazing.
This is genius, guys. Now you need chopsticks wherever you go if you ever want to eat Cheetos. You know what's really convenient? Where you don't need to carry chopsticks with you? You have these little appendages on the end of your hand which are capable of grasping things. And if you get Cheetos dust on your fingers, you can lick them and clean them yourself. This is like mind-blowing stuff! Advancement from chopsticks! That chopsticks were genius! Fingers! Oh my goodness!
To be fair, don't you feel dirty after you've licked your fingers and you don't have
I don't.
anywhere to wash them?
Not
Yeah.
To drive like
Not
that.
at all.
I feel like a messy beast.
Yeah.
I just feel like I still need to wash my hands
Let's brainstorm this. Let's really figure out, is there a way to eat Cheetos and not get your hands messy
Yes.
where you don't need additional things?
Someone
I'm
else
sure,
can feed it to
like,
me.
I'm
Open it
sure.
up and just go, "Ah."
There you go, Oz. Or better yet, you could do it gently and just like,
Just
Like-
make,
like
just
that,
make
but-
him feed it to her.
I feel like that would set the wrong message about like feminism and empowerment if she's in the show doing this all the time. They cannot cut that one. It's on a live stream.
don't take advantage of that too much, Oz.
Oh,
Don't you dare.
I like taking advantage.
oh,
No, but like, so we're just not,
can't believe I just simulated that.
So no, guys, we're just not big brain enough. Like chopsticks are the genius thing, and then again, the self-flagellating. I'm sorry. She just says, "You're not the only genius in the family." And once, like a comment like that, I might have been able to brush off as like sarcasm. But this is the second time where the show has just flagellated this character where she's so great, right? And I actually wrote down the amount of times where the show almost explicitly, directly, where she says it, or it's implied like a slap in the face that she is so great, she is so wonderful. It's over 7 times, I think. Where she's just like, "I'm so great, I'm wonderful, I'm a genius, I'm better than you," crap, right? Full in one episode, 7 times, and gosh, they're so high.
Can I give a bit of honesty to you? The only reason I bought the book and the pens is because I meant to do a notch for every time you said woman, but I've lost count, so I gave up.
And I mix it up with lady,
Yeah. No, I tried to account for those too.
cow, a dog might be thrown in there one time.
And you said,
Yeah, no, there's the B one.
well, that's the thing, Claudia. Is it sexist to hate someone not because of their gender, but to still attack them for it?
But to say you're interchanging the words with those other words.
No, but the thing is, there's not words that people interchange for men. You know, the word D-I-C-K. That's one that's applied to men more often.
Dick.
It's
Yes.
and so there.
And I try not to, and I...
No, so
But men can also be pussies.
that's true as well. Actually, that one's usually applied more to men as well. So this thing, there are derogatory comments that are only applied to men. Women aren't the only ones that
I'm not
have
saying
words
it's
that are
not,
associated.
but that statement could be...
But people who are disingenuous, who don't want to acknowledge that, guess what? The pendulum swings both ways, and there are crap, words, derogatory remarks that refer to men more specifically than women, but they won't bring those up. It's sexist to call a woman a cow, but it's perfectly fine to call a man a D word.
No,
It's like,
I don't think you should use those words for anyone.
I think,
you might be right, but the world is just making me jaded.
I think, though, that the fact that women have less insults is more sexist than if they had more. Because think about it. Guys can be assholes, dicks, pussies, C words. Guys can be basically anything you can think of. Women, there's only like 2 or 3, really? And there's one that's really bad. But guys get that one too. So guys get all the ones that women get too.
Yep. And look, if I
What
was
do you think that is?
if I was criticizing a guy, I would rip into him as well if he was this much of a friggin' self-centered, egotistical, arrogant, awful, loathsome person of a character. It's like, shush.
You did it for Rand in the and the boys.
I know, Rand is a freaking pussy. You know?
Yeah, they all were.
And Perrin is a wet rag, pathetic. Like, they ruin the male characters in Wheel of Time so much.
To prove we're not sexist and we're actually, like, kind of objective about this, our favourite character from the Wheel of Time show was a woman who is angry at everyone all the time. She was our favourite character.
Nynaeve.
Yeah, Nynaeve. Her whole thing is, I'm angry at everyone. Unfairly, in a lot of cases. Well, not unfairly, but unproportionately.
Because you can actually execute an angry character really well.
Yeah.
This is an example where it's done awful.
Good characters of all different walks of life exist. They're out there.
Yep, and when they exist, they deserve to be roasted, and for me, I will use comments that express how loathsome of a character this is to convey my displeasure of it. Okay, so Cheeto Chopsticks Genius, guys. Okay, so now she goes on this rant about her theory that Cap is a virgin.
Because that's the most... You know the guy who saved the world like 5 times? Yeah. He didn't have sex.
Why? Do they need to focus on that?
Yes, because that's the question, right? Not only is the character obsessed about it, but she would only be obsessed about it if the writers actually think this is some funny, quirky thing relevant to lift the show, make it funny and interesting, when it just makes her come off like a friggin' cow.
Yeah, and also, right, it's Captain America.
Yeah.
That guy would be, if he wanted to, if he was like, I'll go to a bar, see if I can get laid, instantly.
This is the thing,
He's got a harangue.
This is what really... they piss me off so much. Captain America is a wholesome Boy Scout, for all American guy, grow up in a time, and so this show actually, at the end, so I'll just mention it at the end, where Hulk goes on and says now canonically that Cap just did it with one of the showgirls randomly, which is friggin' bullcrap. No.
Did you say that in there?
There's an after credit scene where Hulk
I didn't watch the after credits.
We'll get Hulk. Now it's canon that Cap just.
I was so ready to turn it off.
Even though he was still in love with Peggy and still, pining after her and stuff like that, that he just decides to go screw a showgirl. And look, even though they're trying to make that canon, utter bullcrap. Because after the time when he was on the show and everything like that, we see his first kiss and how friggin' awkward it is for him. Okay, he was absolutely still a virgin, and good friggin' on him. Guess what? I was a virgin until I was married. Best decision ever. It's improved and benefited my life. And so this is actually a type of virgin shaming, which is contributing to a worse world. No, there are great benefits to saving yourself till married. I did it. You can do it too. You can start now if you wanted to.
Yeah. You think it was just bullets and bombs he was using that shield to protect himself from? No, he protected his virginity.
Exactly. Good on you, Cap. Women were throwing themselves at him. We saw it with that lady kissing, jump on him, and he was all awkward and stuff.
And women just weren't interested in Captain America. They were interested in the shield too because it's vibranium.
All right. Oh, I'm sick of it.
No, do it.
Yeah, that deserves it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I love it. Captain America, he is the wholesome guy. Of course it would make sense he was a virgin, but this show is actually framing it like it's something to be ashamed of, right? And then they even decide to break canon and make it like, he's not the wholesome guy that everyone... And yeah, the original movie was showing him, he just screwed a showgirl.
They weren't good enough killing Hulk as a character. They got to do... Yeah,
they will take every opportunity to rake the old characters under the bus. Like, remember from the trailer, it has a line from She-Hulk says where superhero job is only for narcissist billionaires and everything like that. It's basically saying, F you, Tony Stark.
The guy who died to save the universe? Literally knew that it would kill him. He's like, okay, I'll do it. He had a daughter and everything.
I know, right? And this is how they treat him. This is how they treat the legacy characters. It's, because the writers despise the heroic male characters of the past. They want to destroy them, denigrate them, and lift up. This is their new, beacon, icon,
Which is
hero.
sad because people like the She-Hulk.
Exactly, like She-Hulk.
There are a lot of good She-Hulk comics.
Yeah, I've only read one She-Hulk comic, right? And so I'm not versed in it, but I was always interested because she looked like a fun, quirky character, also sexy character as well, and so that caught my eye as a teenager. But of course, they got rid of all the appeal in this.
Oh, Chad, sorry. Shad's new superhero persona should be Captain Virginity.
I take that, mate! Abso-friggin-lutely. That'll be like my secondary
Where did the
name.
come from?
Huh? What?
Well, obviously I'm not anymore.
kidding.
I'm
No,
married
it's
and
his
have
alter
5
ego.
children. But Be a virgin. Be proud of it. Right.
Virgins of the universe, send us your energy. That's actually an anime. I'm not
It can be channeled into very productive stuff because, look, if you do if you do want to move past it, right, and find a lovely lady and get married and everything like that, it encourages you to want to better yourself to attract that woman. And before marriage, I'm a guy, so of course I'm interested in that thing, and so I committed myself to save myself until marriage, and that meant I kind of wanted to get married a bit sooner. Didn't mean I rushed it. I had to find the right lady, but to do that, I need to make myself the best version of myself, working out, making myself better, and all that pent-up energy just pushes you further.
I think
talk about She-Hulk?
I think Captain Virginity saves others till marriage, not just himself.
Yes. Okay, moving
No,
back.
but you're right. Freud and Jung talked about it. Keeping your sexual energy through chastity actually allows you to put it into other things like creativity.
There you go, guys. Science. All right.
Not science, psychology.
Yeah.
It's not science.
So, there's that whole conversation there, and this spaceship, it's a bit blurry. Let me play just a thing. No, we missed it. We're gonna go forward a little bit because we had the spaceship and then I ruined it, and I don't want to be pinged for copyright while we're on stream.
I'll just take it off. And then
Yeah.
you can find that point.
Way to go,
Okay.
idiot.
Oh, you took it off. That's good job, Nathan. All right, so there we go.
Just as
It's
she's
back
about to
up.
say, Captain America is a virgin.
Yeah,
we get
no,
it.
she actually says it. The subtitle says
Yeah,
virgin,
yeah.
so she does say Captain America was a virgin. This spaceship, which retard is driving it, right? They can see, they might not know what a car is, but it's obviously a vehicle or a transportation device of some kind moving in a direction, and if I move down in front of it, it will crash into me. If their intention was to destroy him, just shoot them. But it seems like Hulk later says that, they're trying to get in contact with me. This is their way of getting contact? Causing an accident that'll kill people?
Yeah. But also, now that I think about it, right? Why would he ever think it's a good idea to wear that thing on his arm? It clearly doesn't stop him from injury. He was in a car accident.
I know.
Cut himself, and he's still barely...
Oh, yeah, but for some reason being in human form is healing his arm as a result.
Yeah.
It's retarded.
What if someone nuked him right there? He'd be dead.
There are such layers of stupid here, right? And so the ship, whoever's driving it, is an absolute moron, and they cause the accident, even though it seems like their intention wasn't to cause it, but they're so stupid that they think if I just move in front of it, right?
The cliff is on the wrong side.
It's on the right.
That's what that's
Yeah,
the
that's
side
what
I
we were
was
saying. We were saying that, yeah.
I thought the cliff was on on her side.
I swear, it'd be so sexist if it's also a woman driving a spaceship.
And so
That's not even funny.
it would just a sexist stereotyping. I was looking at this show, and the fact that we see it here. If you're an experienced driver, the safest way to swerve is towards into the embankment, right? Yeah, you might wreck your car, but it's not going off a freaking cliff.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, it just seems like the riders are so sexist that they want to show the woman driver as being this incompetent.
She's probably a better driver than me, though.
Most likely.
Yeah.
It would have made more sense if they'd had oncoming traffic on the other side of the road. That would make her swerve
There are
into
so
the
many
cliff.
easy, natural ways to set up this car crash narratively, yet the riders are so dumb that they go for one of the most stupid setups you can imagine. We'll just have a spaceship fly down in front of it.
Or there's traffic, a spaceship appears above everyone, and that causes everyone to freak out and crash into each other.
And it is more her fault. She's not even looking at the road here, okay? So it actually is vastly caused by her inattentiveness and crap driving ability.
I think
Seems like they're saying something.
How long was she looking at him? I want to know that much.
they are driving on an empty road.
I don't know.
She turned for a
Looking away
second.
from the road. It's not good.
Literally anything can happen to you in the Marvel Universe.
All right. So, yeah. What are the spaceship pilot? Okay. Anyway, so she swerves, goes off the cliff. They crash. She cuts her arm. She gets thing, and then Hulk's like. If you could take it down, Nathan, I'm going to get to just the scene where the blood drips onto her, because we are talking like, this is it. If you could bring it back up. These are the amounts of blood, the Hulk blood, that drips onto her, right?
When I was watching this, I paid zero attention to it because it's blood. Blood is in a car crash. whatever. And then when she got up and she was like, what's happening? I was like, wait, hang on.
Yeah.
Hang on. Is that how she gets it? Seriously?
Yeah, and it's like instantaneous. It doesn't need time to mutate the body, get through a bloodstream or anything.
She transforms into Hulk faster than Banner does.
Yeah.
She
and they were both in the accident.
It was exactly
well, to be
like
fair, she is a different kind of Hulk to Banner.
it was exactly like the 28 weeks later zombies. One drop and in 10 seconds you're one of them. Like, it was just like that.
So the comic book took a full transfusion of blood, all right? And even then, there should be some more valid explanation as to why her body reacts to it, and they try to explain it, and their explanation is just laughably stupid. And so I just can't believe this crap. I'll probably save a lot of the genetic, description and criticism when he tries to explain the genetics of it, because it's unbelievably dumb. So what I was just saying, like, how quick it happens, for how little blood falls into it, is just nonsense. It's like... And again, I know it's a comic book universe, but you want to have at least a veneer of believability, okay? Suspense of disbelief. Be consistent with your own internal laws. Like, it was really hard, supposedly, for the transformation process that made Hulk become Hulk, like turn Bruce Banner into the Hulk, where all this crap had to happen, and then just a couple of drops of blood. He goes on to say something a bit later, which is like, what? He says later that she got a lethal dose of gamma radiation.
From him.
What, in his blood?
Yeah.
Is his blood radiated to that level?
When he turns Hulk, it is, yeah.
Because
He's not turned Hulk.
He was turning Hulk when it happened.
Oh, was he?
It looked like it to me. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong.
Maybe.
She's looking this.
I don't remember.
He was hulking out.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, his fin broke?
And you actually see in the Avengers Infinity War, when he hulks out, it literally comes from down his chest through his artery up to his head. So it seems to be in his blood.
Okay, that's all fine, right? But okay, so if the answer is the radiation, the lethal radiation, is just in a couple of drops of blood, and he thinks it's safe to walk around in just human form, which he might get a cut any time and bleed on anyone and kill them instantly, Banner's a retard.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe this crap.
He was starting to Hulk.
My impression is that the blood can't be radiated because it couldn't be that dangerous for other people and stuff. And that the radiation was what changed him into Hulk, but after it, he's not an irradiated death beacon. And so when he said you got a lethal dose of radiation, I was thinking, where did the radiation come from? She just got, like, contaminated blood. None of it's making sense to me.
How much Hulk have you read? Because in art, when you see him Hulk out, you see, like radiation gamma art behind him. You know what I mean?
Really? I don't like. Look, chat. You can let us know. Nathan can keep an eye on it. I'm sure there's a Hulk aficionado here.
I would never understand why be a fan of the Hulk. He's the lamest superhero. He's
no, there are fun things.
I liked Hulk
Beast
growing
is
up.
cooler.
No,
I like Beast.
hot take. You'll be hated for that one.
Yeah, probably. And I might deserve it. But...
Hulk was done almost perfectly in the first Avengers film. He was brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. And then they've never really captured that magic. Look, Hulk was fun in Ragnarok. I'll give him that. He was a bit quirky, but still, this Hulk in this show is just garbage. Absolute crap. Anyway, so she turns into Lady Hulk really quickly. Okay, and question.
Someone in the chat's like, Ruffalo gives off beta radiation. But the soy keeps him alive.
Oh my goodness. I'm congested. I need to clear my thing. Remember, this show makes me sick. Do you want to quickly mute it again? I'll... Back. Look, we're live. I'm sorry, and I am actually legitimately sick. And I'm saying, look, this show is making me sick. It's awful. So when she hulks out here, the show is trying to do a misdirect, where it's trying to say or make you think that she doesn't have control of it. Spoiler alert, later on we know she's like conscious the whole time, which makes this scene a complete contradiction.
She said she forgot what happened.
This is the thing, right? If she did have control, but she forgot, why is she going crazy and ripping apart the car?
It's probably like exposure. The more you get exposed,
And
I think you're giving it
Like
way too much
immunity
credit,
and
and you're giving your
Yeah.
own headcanon to describe an actual contradictory
Well, I
mess.
mean-
Like it's a plot hole. If either
She's in a car accident.
And so she decides to rip apart the car and go.
Well, no,
berserk.
like, have you been in a fight before? You
no,
have,
they
right?
they're only doing it to try and do a misdirect. Either because the thing is,
But he turns
the
into
fact that
Hulk when he's threatened or angry.
This is the thing. The fact that she gains such easy, instantaneous control over a Hulk form is a Mary Sue piece of bullcrap.
I agree.
And
the reason she's hulking
I don't
out.
know what they did in the comics to justify her control in the Hulk form.
I'm
Right?
sure she's
But
always been conscious in the comics.
but this show seems to want to have its cake and eat its too, where they want like, oh, she can't control it until she instantly can when it's
Yeah,
convenient
no
for the
doubt.
story.
That's stupid.
It's
But,
crap.
but the reason she's hulking out is because she was in a car accident.
I read in the
See,
comics.
To me, no. She like.
Not in
Sorry,
the
go,
comics.
Claudia.
I read about the comics. I haven't read the comics. That the gamma radiation affects them differently depending on like their inner like
Who they are inside.
ego and id and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And for her, it presents itself differently. So she's always
Because she's
been
repressed.
conscious.
I remember you saying
But I
that,
think
Shad.
some
Yeah.
of them are also she can't change back.
See, that was my assumption. Because I hadn't read heaps of She-Hulk, but I
Yeah.
read enough, and like one of the comic books, she was just constantly She-Hulk, and she never changed. And so I assumed that she didn't have a human form.
Yeah.
She's just permanently
Either
She-Hulk.
she can't change back or she doesn't want to, depending on the comic, I guess.
What I feel here is that they're not being consistent at all. Either there is a component of rage that she can't control, or she should have had control the whole time. The fact that here and in the next scene where she goes to friggin' murder someone, right, is showing very clearly in these two scenes that she doesn't have control, and then they contradict that because they just want the girl power. Oh, I can control it.
Well,
moment later, which is massive contradictory bullcrap.
To be fair, with an actual decent reason, I couldn't control a bike the first time I got on one. But after I did it the first time, I could ride the bike.
So you're just going to try and ride the bike into other people and kill them and go rage crazy if you can't control it?
Yes.
Look, to me, I just feel like, this is utter crap. Again, because they want the misdirect. They actually want to set up that... And there might have been an interesting story if they actually gave that to her, that she has trouble controlling the rage thing and she has to bring it. Might have been different in the comics, but it would have made it more interesting. The fact that they just gave it to her so easy, I'm in control. It's like, oh, come friggin' off of
This
it.
could have been a much more interesting story if they gave us a montage of her learning.
There is so much potential to have really interesting plot. Like, for instance... The reason why she doesn't want to be a superhero, I have a comment a bit later, and maybe I'll talk about it again later on, but I'll mention it now as well, is there are so many reasons why you might not want to be a superhero. Maybe you're afraid, maybe you feel you can't do it, maybe you're afraid of your own strength, that you'll injure other people and everything like that. There are all these reservations and concerns as to why I have all this power. Yeah, you say I could save the world, but no, probably get myself killed and other people killed. I don't want to. You could so easily justify it. But you know the reason they give her? Oh, to ruin my life. I'm selfish.
I want to be a lawyer.
I want to be a lawyer, and
Your favourite superhero did something similar to that, though. But they did it in a much better way. They still did the same thing, though. Spider-Man 2.
yeah.
Spider-Man.
They gave him a great arc where he uses the powers for his own selfish ends and everything, but he learns from it. Not like this. Like they are just making her. I don't want to be the superhero for. Because this is the thing. If Spider-Man stayed that way, he would be a loathsome character,
And he'd be
wouldn't
forgotten.
And
He
he'd
wouldn't
be
be
forgotten.
Spider-Man.
Exactly. I don't think they're going to change that.
But see, I think
she
that works.
hulks
No.
in the
You know,
last scene.
yeah. Oh, that pissed me off as well. Her response when someone literally attacks and lives are at stake was to go hide first. Okay, and then she needs to be coaxed and encouraged to do the right thing and help save people's lives. She's reluctant to. She'd be happy for them all to die, what's being implied here. And then her next response to, oh, I do have the power to actually save people's lives is like, oh, it's going to ruin my dress. Freaking, I can't stand it. She's so selfish. People's lives are in danger, and she's just like, let them die. Are you kidding me?
Superman
What a
takes his suit
loathsome
off.
superhero.
Superman takes his suit off. Superman takes his suit off
Yeah.
before he jumps into
You
it.
reckon she should have stripped first? Is that what you're getting
I
at?
reckon she should be wearing something underneath that's what's it called?
Spandex?
Spandex.
Maybe she'll do that
yeah.
later.
Almost
So
like
my
latex.
impression, they gave no indication that she is going to go on an arc, learn some humility, and that she is being this horrible, selfish person for being reluctant to use her powers for the greater good. I don't get that impression at all. What it really feels like is that she's going to do it. Everyone is going to praise her and love her for it, and she's going to love the attention and all the flagellating, praising of herself. Where it's like, oh, I'm so awesome, I'm going to do it because I'm Slay Queen. That's what they're going to do. That's my prediction.
I'm Slay Queen.
Like,
So that sounds like a super villain.
yeah, sound like
Slay Queen. Ah.
that. They should.
And with how much
So-
she talks about sex, she should be called Lay Queen.
So like I said, this character is really awful, really selfish. All the reasons she gives for not wanting to do this, they could have so easily justified it in a really satisfying narrative way. Gave her some weakness and vulnerability that she's afraid. She has the power to split the earth in half if she's an actual Hulk, right? And that would, honestly, the magnitude of what's happened to her, she passes off like it's nothing. I just can't.
She does say the line, I'm going to help people in the way that I've learned how to as a lawyer.
Yeah, but that was in response to Hulk trying to say, what if the world is about to die? And so her response is, let the world die, I'm going to be a lawyer.
It wasn't what if the world could die, what about helping people? Then she said, I can help people.
But before he said that, it's like, if the world is at stake, we are some of the few people who could save it. And her response is, no. I'd say, all right, when the next Thanos comes, right? Yeah, you might have been able to help them out, but be satisfied that you're doing the lawyer stuff. Yeah. She has power to break the world.
But that's the thing
but
about...
that's also the hero's journey.
It is, but they're not going to even give her that journey.
Well, look at what happened with Spider-Man. The first 15 minutes of 20, 30 minutes of the Spider-Man movie, he gets the powers, tries to use it to make money immediately. And he learns from that quickly.
They're not giving her that journey, though.
Well, she might get it.
It's
we haven't seen
also a
it.
series.
Like I said, my prediction is like she's going to do it, everyone's going to love her for it, and she's going to be, everyone loves me for it, this is great, I will be a superhero because I'm so great.
Well, yeah.
I hope I'm wrong. I would hate, because the show will be just loathsome if it does this, because they don't understand the superhero journey. And just awful. And the other thing, this show is just a contradictory mess, where one of the justifications of why she doesn't want to be the Hulk, right, is that all the horrible, torturous life Bruce has had, right? Whereas, like, she doesn't want to go through the torture that Bruce has had, yet the entire context of this episode is that she's better than him, and she doesn't have to deal with that crap. She doesn't have a evil Hulk, not evil, but she doesn't have a Hulk alter ego she has to battle. She can control it. She can transform at will already, which took Hulk ages to learn. She can do it at will. And so all the problems that cause this to be torturous for Hulk's life doesn't exist for her, yet she tries to use that as the excuse to not be a superhero, even though the context of the episode is that she doesn't have those problems to deal with in the first place. Contradictory crap.
Is the Incredible Hulk evil, though? Like, when he can't control it when he's just...
No, I wouldn't say he's necessarily evil. He can perform evil acts.
But
look, I know. Why are you bringing up a debate that can take us friggin' hours? Stop trying to derail it.
I'm trying to derail it. I'm just trying to get a word in.
No, you're trying to bring up a debate.
If I was to derail it, I'd say penis. See?
No. There's an ongoing debate about the concept of evil that I have with Oz. And look, I just believe that there are things that you can contextualize as evil separate to the intent behind the action. And I can expound further on that if you want me to do a video on it. But we're not going there. Thanks, Oz, for derailing us. Anyway, I wouldn't call Hulk evil per se, okay? Though he has done evil things.
He once ate Wolverine.
What?
Old Man Logan, he ate Wolverine, and Wolverine...
So there is a version of Hulk where he's, like, insane. So in the Ultimates arc, so there was a reboot of Marvel called the Ultimate Universe, and the Avengers was first called the Ultimates, and Hulk, he turns into Grey Hulk at the beginning of this, and he's a true rage monster, and there's this shape-shifting alien in the fight, and and Captain America, first he tries to kill Captain America, and Captain America's like, see that alien guy over there? He thinks you're a big dum-dum, Hulk, and that, he's after Betty and wants to screw Betty. And so Hulk just goes nuts, and then he eats this guy. Rips him apart and eats him.
Have you I said he had Wolverine.
Who's derailing us now?
Well, we're not having have you read Old Man Logan? Hulk literally has like half of the America of his people. They're all Hulk people, and he gets into a fight with Wolverine, and he eats Wolverine, and Wolverine does not agree with his stomach. Wolverine.
Okay. So
who's derailing it now, Claudia?
I'm getting confused.
My pronunciation
is Wolverine a different character?
No.
So
if it was a female, it'd be Wolverine.
We've talked about her level of control she should have. Just raging out these scenes show that she is not in control, and there is like a Hulk alter ego. Now, I know in the comics, by the way, just to contextualize this point a bit further, is that She-Hulk actually does have a rage mode, but that might have been caused by Scarlet Witch. So in the Avengers Disassembled one, I was reading a comic where She-Hulk actually goes berserk mode, and she actually gets even more buff and crazy, and she starts ripping apart the Avengers Mansion. No, but she was still green. But okay. I think it was caused by the Scarlet Witch losing her mind and warping reality and turning everyone crazy.
She does have a Grey Hulk.
In Avengers 2, Age of Ultron, she does the ooh thing. And it messes them up
So
and it's
I don't know canonically if she actually does have a true rage mode where she gets the alter ego, but in this comic, it's like she had one. Iron Man comes down and one-shots her and knocks her out. But it was a big hit from Prime.
You know why? Okay, because you said he gets bigger and stronger when he gets angrier in that one. That's why I liked Ang Lee's Hulk the most. The more damage he took, the angrier he got. The bigger and... I loved that. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Why did...
So she, it looks like she's hulking out. She sneaks into the thing, and then a couple of ladies come. So if you bring it down, Nathan, and so I'm just gonna quickly play it forward to get to the right moment where these ladies arrive, and so she's in the thing. Okay, so you can bring it back up, Nathan. Ladies appear, okay, and they instantly assume she's been beaten up, and it's like,
can I borrow your number?
You might assume that, but the thing is, there's no bruises on her. She's dirty, and she's got raggedy clothes.
Yeah.
She looks homeless. Not like she's a victim of assault, but the instance is like, who did this to you? Who was he? In actual fact,
he wasn't worth it.
The line is, whoever did this to you, he wasn't worth it, or she, or they. It's like the world has become so ultra sensitive that they have to make sure they say the right things in everything.
Wait, did they actually say that?
It's like, who did this to you? You do not need him or her or them, is the line.
Well, maybe okay. To be not
devil's advocate.
Not devil's advocate. No,
Yeah.
To be devil's helper. They might have meant multiple people and not genders.
Yeah, but what do you think they actually meant?
Multiple people.
I don't think so.
Do you think they'll be more likely to talk about her being in some sort of relationship that led to this for a different gender or for multiple people?
I think it's the ultra sensitive, stepping on eggshells. We've got to make sure we acknowledge all the things in the.
It does sound more likely, yeah, fair enough.
Okay,
but so does mine.
And then, the answer is not to clean her up, but just put makeup all over her. So again, this is a sign of the terrible writing. It's weird. You know why they do it? Is because they need her to be catcalled in the next scene to inject the sexism they want in the show, because men bad. And so why would men catcall her if she's not looking pretty? They need someone to pretty her up. And so you have these women come in who respond in the most retarded ways. Instead of actually calling for help, finding out, cleaning up, they just start slathering makeup all over her. It's like, who would do that?
Now
the reason why. What do you mean?
No, not you. The writers and them as well, those characters.
Yeah, and so it's so obvious and blatant why this happens, because they want the sexism in the show. And therefore, again, need to be catcalled, need to be prettied up, so they have these characters respond and react in one of the most stupid, unnatural, unrealistic ways for a person in distress. Let's just throw makeup all over you. What are you doing?
Maybe they thought that was just her complexion and not dirt.
Oh, look, I believe most people of not even average intelligence, low intelligence would, not think that.
Some people don't believe this is my complexion. They think that I'm a fluorescent light bulb.
And so...
It's a very cliche scene, though.
It shows the incompetence of the writers. Again, where they can't think of a natural way to justify the scene they want. They want a catcalling scene. Again, you don't need that scene, but they want to inject it in because men bad, all right?
I agree. However, it can be interpreted as, look at the kind of girls that are already staying in that bar. And she looks exactly like one of them when she stands outside. So...
Well, actually, that goes into the catcalling scene where guys come out of a bar on girls' night, and their assumption...
Oh, that was girls' night?
They
shouldn't be there!
They said, this is, something about girls' night.
Girls' night just means free drinks, doesn't it? Guys can go too.
Oh, yeah, but we have patriarchy.
And so,
night?
From the guy's perspective, the girls going to that bar are ones who are looking to hook up. And they see this maked up, dolled up person, and so they're almost... normal assumption you would assume is like, oh, she's looking for, someone to hang out with.
That's a normal assumption continuing to follow her.
The show frames it as sexist because, we'll go into the lines because she doesn't tell them to get lost creep. And she said that and they keep pushing it. Her response was not tell them to, I have it down, I'll get to that.
Boyfriend or something like that. But Claudia.
No. That was even after, her actual follow-up line was not telling him to get lost. We'll get to it. But...
Is girls' night real? Do they actually get free drinks on girls' night?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the actual
I'll
thing that
fact check that
happens.
for you.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Well, to
We
be
fought
fair,
in wars and died, and
It gets girls in the bar,
yeah, there's that. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
and it gets more guys in the bar.
And it's cheaper for guys too. They don't have to buy
Oh.
drinks with the girl.
They ask how she's doing, and her response is fine. So that's not a statement of leave me alone. That's actually an engagement of an acknowledgement of the thing.
Shad.
But she said it with attitude.
If a woman says to you, "I'm fine," run. She will turn into the
Okay,
Hulk.
you asked me how I'm doing.
Hey, Claudia, how you doing?
Fine.
Oh, what have I done?
Should he keep talking to me now?
I don't know. It's not a horrible, evil thing. If
No.
if this lady is at a bar on girls' night, they think ladies who go there are looking for a time, and even if there's a slight bit of disinterest, okay,
But she's not in the
it's not
bar.
wrong for a guy to just query that a bit further to see if there's really no
Like the
disinterest.
dog.
No, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
But she's also not standing in the bar. She's waiting to leave, and she's approached by 3 or 4 men outside in the dark.
Yeah.
Maybe if she waited inside and said, "Leave me alone, creep."
But she's
Maybe-
not approached in the
maybe
dark.
if
She's
it
under
was
the
one
cover of the
guy,
bar.
But it's still outside in a not very busy area. Maybe if it was one guy who approached her, but as if a woman was in that situation and more than one guy approached and surrounded her from behind.
Yeah, like I'm not saying it's perfect. What I'm saying here, right, is the level of interest this guy's are showing, and that they're pushing further beyond. Because when she actually does show disinterest, when she walks away and she says, "I think my boyfriend's coming," okay, that's when it happens. But up to that point, she actually didn't tell him to get lost.
Yeah.
And then what they do here, right, people might say is inappropriate, but is by no means to the level of evil or worthy of death. Okay? The show is framing that what they're doing here is now perfect, like worthy of death, and she hulks out and then attempts to kill them, and then Hulk stops her.
I don't think they're saying it's worthy of death.
But they're framing it
just
like
her
these are
reaction.
awful, terrible, evil,
It's
sexist
just
men.
her heightened reaction because of Hulk mode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are.
No,
But
no.
they are trying to do man bad. So it's kind of like both
Yeah.
of you in between.
So no, the answer, right, is here where I was like, she replies, "My boyfriend's coming," after saying she was waiting for a cousin, and then she changes her things like, "Oh, I think my boyfriend's here." They say, "Let us keep you company." Okay, and she walks away, and then they're just saying, "We're just being friendly." All right. Now,
Maybe it literally is those things.
what if they like? What if it actually was them just trying to help her out? We don't have the context, but it's framed like these are evil. They're gonna rape her if she isn't careful. That's the framing.
There was
Now you're inserting self-canon.
Yeah,
Maybe,
There was-
but to me, they're trying to vilify these guys further than their actions justify. I'm not saying their actions are appropriate. I think they're pushing it over the line, but they're making them out that these are the worst of the worst. Like, guys just do this all the time. Guys are all sexist. You know, you guys.
there was a video from a while back. You guys might remember it. 10 hours of walking through New York. As a
Oh
woman.
yeah, and
Remember
she
that?
tried to film all the people catcalling her.
Yeah, but they were all being like, "Hey, beautiful.
Yeah.
Have a nice day, beautiful." Everything like that.
And like,
right?
hey, how you doing?
Yeah, and there was a moment where, and she puts this in the video with captions, like, "This guy followed me for 10 minutes down a block," right? This guy stands basically right next to her and walks with her and then leaves her alone, right? People in the comments were like, because it was a really dodgy area, he was standing next to you so you didn't get robbed. Like, guys want to help. You've got to understand, guys want to
Yes,
help women.
yes.
We want to protect women.
In that isolated instance, though, why you not just say something?
What do you mean?
He was following her without saying anything?
Because if it think about
If
this.
he's protecting me, I would still be scared because I don't know that's what he's doing.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
think about this though. Like, I come up, hey, there's a dodgy area. I'm gonna follow
Yeah,
you and protect you.
that's fine.
That's dodgy.
I think that, like, in that position, right, especially with the type of lady that was, she would have easily assumed, because he was looking for sexism, right? And if someone said, "Hey, it's a dodgy neighborhood, I just want to make sure you're safe and I'll be following from behind," she'll say, "You're stalking me, you're evil, you're
Yeah.
sexist." You wouldn't be able to win.
And I don't think they'd be wrong to assume
like,
that.
from that guy, I think it would be perfectly natural for him to not say anything and just say, "Look, I'm
Or you
going to
could
take
be-
the possibility that you won't even notice me. I'm just going to stay at a distance and make
An
sure people
alternate
don't hit you."
situation would be, this is a dodgy area, do you have someone to call? Or maybe talk on the phone, because
Yeah, but what I'm saying,
to approach it.
what
Phone's
this
not gonna
scene-
stop
see,
me.
what both situations give, and it's proven by the thing that Oz said, right, is that filming that she did, where she was interpreting everything to be sexist, when some of them was just like, "Hey, how you going?"
Like, "Have a good day,
Have a good day.
beautiful."
Yeah, wasn't that right? That was like an evil
That was
sexist
the main
catcall,
one.
where they are looking for more sexism in the world than there actually is, and they're contextualizing many interactions as horribly vile sexism when It's actually not. Now, I'm not saying this is appropriate, but the show is trying to display this as vastly worse than what it actually is. They don't say things hugely threatening. Okay, they're not going to say, we're going to get you. They don't say anything like that.
I'd say that.
They never say that.
No, they'd say, hey, we're just trying to be friendly.
Yeah, but...
I'm not saying it's not creepy. I'm not saying it's not creepy, okay?
I say that to people, though.
Someone needs to say they're trying to be friendly. You're failing.
How many times have I chased around Thunder where like, I'm going to get you?
Anyway, so to that level, right, that's enough to make her rage get so angry that she turns into the Hulk. Remember, she turns the Hulk from being really angry. She might feel threatened, all right? And I think that might be justified.
Did one of them put their hands on her?
Nope. No one touched her. And
Really?
I'm pretty sure they tried to grab her. I think.
well, hang on, all right.
Maybe tap her.
Let's take it down. We're going to watch this and bring it down just so we don't get pinged by copyright. And we're just being friendly.
I'd be happier being wrong. No, you're right.
No one
Yeah,
touches
didn't
her.
touch
Also, her that's terrifying.
Yeah, I know.
And her face changed, like her head turned around faster than her body did, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's like, what was that thing where the Exorcist where the
yeah.
head just like... they don't touch her. The worst thing they said is we're just being friendly. So they actually don't say anything horribly egregious, but the actions is where it goes too far, where they pursue her, where it obviously shows she's not interested and she's trying to walk away. And so the worst thing they do is follow a lady, which might seem intimidating when she doesn't want to be followed. And so this is the thing.
It doesn't just seem it is intimidating.
Okay, couple of things, right, though. There are multiple ways to try and interpret that. One could be that is aggressive, possibly stepping over the line. The other interpretation, which is honestly very likely with drunk guys, they just weren't thinking straight.
Yeah.
And they just stepped over the line without realizing
it.
it.
Can be an
A bunch of
interpretation.
harmless idiots who are drunk, who's like, hey, girl at a girls' night bar, she's looking for a good time, and she is not really saying no, she's just being coy. It's like, come on, we're just being nice, we're drunk.
Yeah.
And...
No matter the interpretation, though, it is still intimidating.
Yeah, but to me,
threatening.
that is as valid an interpretation as the threatening interpretation, and as a result, doesn't justify her response.
Yeah, but like, and here's...
Or the framing of the show, should I
Yeah,
say.
no matter their true intentions, that situation is threatening and scary no matter what.
Yeah.
Whether they have nice intentions or not, being followed in the dark by a
but-
group of guys from behind is scary.
And-
Look, I agree with you there, but because the reality could be actually far more harmless than what it is, even though I agree, this could be
but it's not about reality, though. Like, and speaking from experience...
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that these guys...
Please, 1 second. There are many, many, many times, and it keeps happening in my life, where I have said something with absolutely no ill intent, and it's been men, women, teachers, everything, right?
And it was being interpreted.
And it's been interpreted in the worst possible way, and I have literally no idea.
Yeah.
But I still like, oh, wait, I said that.
So the thing is, though, you shouldn't be hung out to dry and vilified beyond the level of what you were meaning, right?
Well...
I know you should learn to try and interpret or preempt your actions and how they'll be received, but if you make a mistake, you shouldn't be falsely vilified and hated beyond the level of the context of what's actually given, where the context of this show, I feel, is making out these guys as horrible potential rapists, when if you actually look at the situation, it can be easily interpreted a much more innocent way, but the show would never do that. The creators wouldn't do that, and feminists are trying to interpret... So, like, guys are afraid of even hitting on women now and having normal relations because they're afraid of being attacked as rapists and all this stuff.
No, that is true. Yeah.
And it's stuff like this that is pushing society in such a false area. I'm not saying guys can't go over the line. They absolutely can, but...
That's not portraying.
It's going...
They're
I
going
would
too far.
agree with you if this scene happened in the pub with people all around, but I have to disagree because that situation is scary no matter their intentions.
Yeah, I agree they went too far.
And nobody
yeah,
should follow someone in a group, a single person, whether she's a man or a woman, nobody should follow her in the dark.
Yes. So, does this justify her wanting to kill him?
Well, it wasn't...
So,
Clearly
ready?
not, because Hulk stopped her.
I know Hulk, but look at her
No.
intent. Ready?
It doesn't justify it. She was stopped.
So this is the other thing. She seems to either she is in control or she has a Hulk persona that she can't control.
Yes.
But the show has tried
She
to establish.
said she wasn't.
She's not in
she
control.
doesn't-
No. She said she couldn't remember it. She's getting more of a handle on it. And she's like, I can just.
Yeah, but
do
that
it.
was after.
See,
She's obviously not
Look,
in
you-
control.
and then these
That's
guys
not
are
a
her
normal
vision.
response.
Look at her vision.
and ready. That she's about to kill him. Like the
She's-
arm is coming forward.
She's very clearly not in control in this scene.
Ready, and she was full on ready to.
Yeah, but Shad,
whip
you're
him
not
to
hearing
Mars.
us. She's clearly not in control.
I know. I was saying that, and now I'm saying that's a contradiction for how easily she gains control later.
Oh yeah, how she
Yeah.
gets it later
Yeah,
is BS.
Yeah, it's poor writing.
Absolute BS.
Okay.
I
so,
wanted a montage. Rocky had a montage.
So the other thing, right? She's Hulk. Okay, she's in a Hulk form right here. Shouldn't it be really hard for Banner Hulk to knock her out? If she is in a rage mode, right? There's probably going to be craters of destruction, but it's just like Banner just tackles her, problem solved.
Well, to
It's
be
like,
fair,
it happens off screen.
One really good right hook to the jaw from the Hulk takedown.
Maybe
thing.
I would have to have been an insanely hard, massive hit to knock her out in Hulk form, but that might be a bit too problematic
But
to
it's
show.
proportionate power, and look at how Hulk got taken down by Thanos.
Yeah, but I'm not saying they just show him tackle her and problem solved. I'm
Hey.
just like, it doesn't feel satisfying for the actual reality of her power level.
Okay, but think about this though. Think about the strength thing between men and women in regular form. Do you reckon that might exist between these two?
No, I think She-Hulk is almost equivalent in strength to regular
Why would it
Hulk.
work like that though?
Powers, magic, superhero powers.
No, but if we're being honest about, if I say magic superpowers, you're like, no, don't do that one, Oz. But why shouldn't she be a bit weaker?
If the
Not
power
stronger than other guys though.
increased your strength on a percentage based, and so if you're 5,000% stronger than your original, and it's based off of her actual human strength, and she's tiny, and she'd be way weaker than Banner is at his prime. Yeah, her strength would be vastly less, but oftentimes powers are just magic increases to this X level. Even Ren Sanson actually does it in Mistborn, where the enhanced. So in Mistborn, they can.
No spoilers.
I won't. This is just how the magic works. You can burn pewter. The magic system is fueled by metals in Mistborn, and it gives you a strength boost. But that strength boost is a set amount, and the main character, she's this short little girl, gets an actual advantage out of it because the strength boost she gets is equivalent to a really big guy, but she has a lighter body that she can redirect and move much easier with less inertia than a big guy, and it ends up her being faster as a result. And so they explain it, and it's justified, but that's an example of where magic sometimes just boosts to an X amount, and even, great writers do it as well.
Okay.
Okay, moving on in the scene, she wakes up, and walking around, she's in the thing, she meets Hulk down there. Hulk has a line where the Sicarians try to deliver a message. I'll get to that. He basically says,
Why deliver a message? Why not just...
I know, there are layers of stupid to this. Hang on, an alien has come down, almost caused an entire, you almost killed you, right?
Yeah.
This is a really big thing. This should be priority number one to figure out what the hell's going on, who's trying to contact you.
And he made assumptions.
It's he just brushes off, yeah, I'll get to that.
Well,
What happened to the spaceship? Is it still out there, just sitting
I know,
there? Is it crashed? Is the alien dead? Did it fly away and not bother with the message?
Yeah, but Claudia, he'll get to it.
I have a fan theory. He did say it was a Sicarian carrier vessel. I think that vessel is carrying a massive load of soy just for Mark Ruffalo. Sicarian soy, the best.
This is also where he says you got a lethal dose of radiation. I was like, where was the radiation? Supposedly it's in the blood. That doesn't make sense to me. Of course she hits him when she gets frustrated. It's casual violence against men, that's if anyone did it to a woman, there'd be outcry, just the double standard. But of course, these are the people who are writing this. They don't give a crap.
Strength difference, but
I'm not saying it's
women.
Look, I'm not saying a playful slap to a guy is inappropriate for a girl to do. I think it's fine. What I'm saying though, that there's a hypocrisy in a double standard where feminists would never be okay if a guy did it to a girl, and they will cry physical assault and everything like that, and they're all about equality. It's well, they're not really. They're perfectly fine with all the privileges that women do have.
Egalitarianism is equality. Feminism is a female empowerment movement.
Yeah, or supremacy movement.
Now it is.
Yeah, now it is. And so It was probably one of the most natural deliveries, though, out of the show. It's like, maybe you lead with that the first time, but the actual context of the whole irradiated part threw me. Okay, when does this happen? Yep. Then we get to the whole... Okay, so they're talking, right? They can... he says that they both have this genetic thing, okay? Here it is. So it explains that they share this genetic thing.
When did you get a photo of it like that?
I don't know, but this unpacks heaps of problems with the canon, the world building, everything like that. He says they both have a genetic trait in which they can synthesize gamma radiation into something else. So, at kind of saying, Hulk turned into the Hulk not because of the experiment he ran, he's a mutant. It's like he just was able to synthesize gamma radiation to something else, and she's a mutant like him. That's basically what they're describing.
They're just making up explanation crap.
But the thing is, this is why this breaks canon, right? It's already been established that the government was trying to recreate the Hulk experiment constantly. The first Hulk film with Edward Norton? Like, they had his research. The whole purpose behind his research was to actually recreate the super soldier serum, and...
they said in Avengers, but I don't know about the Edward Norton.
No, in the... I'll
take your word for it.
They said, we had some success in the past, with things, and it's like... The guy said, yeah, you talk about the super soldiers. Like, it's an elegant way to put it, but essentially, yes.
Okay. I don't remember that.
That's in the Edward Norton one. And it's basically established that Hulk was trying to, part of the researchers, to remake the super soldier serum.
Iron Man said it in Avengers. He's like,
the thing is, though, they were hunting Hulk down for years to try and recreate this. And so are you telling me the government never bothered to check the genetics of his next of kin or his close relatives to see if there's a connection? Are you retarded?
I think that's valid criticism, but also at this point, I don't think Marvel TV shows care about canon.
You're absolutely right. But I'm going to mention it because they deserve to be criticized for this lack of care, consideration, approaching the lore and the greater universe at all. But you're right. Marvel doesn't give a crap about canon.
They
They're
probably
just
don't even
making
have a
up.
canon consultant.
Yeah, they're making up bullcrap.
You need a canon consultant.
Well, they're not working on pirate ships, so they don't really need it.
And so they just want to hand wave this really significant thing, because what has happened is earth shattering for the MCU. A new Hulk was made. The Hulk is a world-breaking power entity thing. The government has been trying to capture Banner to remake the Hulk for years, and now it happens this friggin' easy. It's like, whoa, boy, they will be all over this. Or they should be, but they won't, because the show doesn't care.
There was one line in this that I loved, that she said. I'm like, genuinely, like, hell yeah. When she says... when he's like, be a superhero, and he's like, what, so I can be a government contract super freak like you? Like, yeah, no, that is why Team Captain America, Sokovian Records are completely evil.
Yeah, but this is also a massive simplification of Bruce's current position, and is the fact that he's saved the world multiple times.
Well,
yeah.
She's seeing it from her own perspective.
She's purposely skewing... No, she's purposely, disingenuously skewing it in a negative light to justify her own selfishness to not do the right thing with the power that she has.
Well, but that's the thing, like, men, we are tasked with going to war. Would you be evil and selfish for saying no?
It depends.
On what?
My age, for one. If I was young, I would be all go. I would be less inclined to now because I've got children to protect. If going to war would protect my children, yes.
But that's the thing.
But if the best way to protect my children was to be with them, I'd want to be with them.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. Like, in any interpretation, that's your life,
really?
And you could say that's selfish.
Which family is she protecting?
It's not... it's her life, though. That's
No, I'm saying they could try and justify her reluctance to be a superhero in a lot of, like, effective ways. What they do in the show just comes off as absolute self-centered selfishness.
Look, it is selfish, but I think about people's lives, they are selfish about their lives.
And he even tries to tell her that you need to be careful. You could kill people because you don't control the strength. She's like, no, I got it. I control it all. I don't care.
Yeah, that's a separate thing, though.
Again, another selfish thing, though. She's not caring about the true magnitude of what's happened to her, the danger she poses to others, and because she just wants to get back to her middle-aged partying lifestyle.
It's
It's not a middle-aged
Shad.
partying lifestyle. It's a middle-aged career lifestyle.
It's
That's what she's focusing on.
Yeah, but again, it's not selfish to care about wanting to steer your own life in what direction you might. Like, if I have a freak accident, like where I can't walk with one leg, actually,
Yeah, but you're giving it way too much charity than it deserves because you're going too far. Because she, again, it's the magnitude of what's actually happened, right?
Yeah, but that's
if Thanos comes, she is the one who has the power to actually prevent that. Now, her power is insane, and she's not regarding it at all with any level of respect.
If there's a shooter, I have the power to stop a shooter by trying to attack him.
No, this is different. If you had
Thanos was able to beat the Hulk.
If you had the power to stop the shooter at no risk to yourself because you're invulnerable, and you don't, I would say that's a bloody selfish thing.
She would be vulnerable to Thanos just like Hulk was.
Yeah, but there are so many other threats in which she is perfectly invulnerable too.
Well, you chose Thanos, not me.
Yeah, I know, but you get what I'm saying.
My point is that if it's your life, literally the direction of your entire life, you should be able to be selfish about that. It's your life, not anyone else's.
No, I think there's a level of maturity that you need to approach in terms of actually helping others based on the capacity you have.
So Muhammad Ali was selfish when he chose not to go to Vietnam?
No, you're taking it out of context.
Well, I'm not, though, because...
No, I think you're pushing it too far, because you understand the concept. It's the level, the magnitude of what she's able to achieve and how easy she can achieve it, and and Banner has been trying to tell her again and again to try and get her to understand that magnitude, and she's like, she doesn't give a crap.
Banner told her, I've been doing this for 10 years and I couldn't find it, so here's a 10-year binder, you've got to stay here for at least a year to figure this out. 15 years, well, 5 years is okay.
It's not that, he's trying to say that you have the power to help people, we need you to help people because there are big threats out there, you don't understand the love of your parents. She's like, nah, I'm selfish, I'm going to do my own life.
and here's 10 years of how that's going to take.
No, I disagree completely. I think she's completely selfish about that. So what they're saying here with the genetics, right, is she just magically can turn into the Hulk. And that breaks canon to a massive degree because, okay, there should be other people. It would be really easy to make Hulks now. The government would go nuts for it. And it breaks canon because it shouldn't be this easy to make a Hulk. This should be like... The only way they're going to probably justify it is that the genetic mutation is so rare, they're the only two in the entire world that have it.
Well, they're cousins, so it would imply that...
Well,
but it would imply that maybe other relatives have it then, wouldn't it?
And, it does happen through blood in
Hulk
the...
family.
Yeah, but this is the thing, right? And so you're telling me...
But that's a whole blood transfusion.
Yeah, you're telling me the government never checked the genetics of his close relatives as a result? Like, if it's a rare genetic condition that doesn't seem to be too hard to detect.
I've got to give it to you on that one, Shad.
Yeah.
If the government wants you for
something...
something...
he didn't have relatives.
Yeah, but if the government wants you for something, they want everyone connected to you. It's just a fact.
So then it gets weird, right? Yeah. He says they share a genetic connection. Okay, they actually share it, but then he says her blood can heal his arm. And like, I thought it was the same genetic connection. But then, literally, she says, oh, because I'm better than you.
Oh, that annoyed me.
It's like, I couldn't believe it.
I wouldn't put it past a girl to like...
They're not even trying to hide it. That she, like, this series is going to be She-Hulk better than not only Hulk, but really everyone.
Taken in a vacuum, right, that might be, oh, she's just joshing or whatever you call it, right? But because we have context, there's no other way I can really see it.
And it's continual. She continually just basically says, implies blatantly, I'm just better than you.
What about that song? Anything you can do, I can do better.
I can do anything better than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
See, that's from like this, what, 20s, 30s?
Yeah.
That's a really old song.
But you know,
so maybe this is a thing.
No, but this.
But in the song, they both one up each other.
Exactly. In this, Hulk is like, yeah, you are better than me, basically. Really?
Hulk's blood can't kill
there are times when he basically agrees with her. Like, Nathan, can we bring this down just for a second?
He's jealous of her having control.
Yeah, he gets jealous, and...
which I'd also be jealous too if I was in his situation.
Well, yeah, because that frustrated me as well, by the way. He worked damn hard. He went through hell.
But it is a comic thing.
No, but this is the thing. This undermines his sacrifice and story about the hell he went through to get to this level of control and to be able to transform at will. Like, it was torture for him. And then she just gets it like, I'm better than you, I can do it. And it's like, what a great way to just kick him in the balls and say his sacrifice is spit.
Think about this, though, Shad, and I think you'd agree with this. Men, when they're young, start with nothing, and they struggle very hard. And they slowly build up over time, and then they're at, okay, I'm in my 40s now, I'm okay, right? Women, they start off with all the value.
And see, there is a level of truth, but it's not clear cut and everything, because there is an alternate perspective on the difficulties women have to face in their early ages as well because of that imbalance.
I didn't say that. Well, I mean, I would say on a physical level at least. Physical, not emotional, but a physical level, they struggle.
I know what you're getting at, but the thing is, though, I don't think it applies perfectly here because she is given the same thing of what the Hulk has, but none of the problems. She just overcomes it easy.
She might face them later in life.
I don't know. They're not going to do that in this show. I'd like it if they do. They would show some actual... Okay, let's give her some flaws. Let's give her some challenges. Everything, the marketing, everything I've seen in this show so far is indicating very clearly that it's going to be, I'm so great, I'm great at everything, and I'm going to win at everything, and everyone's going to love me for it.
That's not a fun show to watch.
It's going to be crap.
They have already done the whole, she's 35, sure she's got a great career, but she's on Tinder every night and doing singles bars.
No, but they're going to justify that life as a great life now.
Huh?
What? I don't know what that's saying.
Can you...
Okay.
Does that
Okay. I'll let them figure that out. So, I'm better than you. There's the line. It's like they're not being unironic about it. They're just straight up in like thing. Okay, and so she's not only obsessed. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on. You guys all right?
She's set out for a bit.
Okay, yep. That's fine.
Do you need to step out?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I thought you did. Okay.
All right. Okay, so they are obsessed with not only saying that she is better, but she wants to express it by gaslighting everyone about it because, this next line, this is my rant at the beginning, right? After she says, I'm better than you, she is so conceited to then call Bruce smug.
Yeah, that was a...
I couldn't believe it. It's like she is acting like the most smug, entitled, cow.
This is where I thought they were trying to get a cousin banter relationship, but failing.
Oh, it failed massively. It just, I could see that might have been their intention, but it just comes off. And I think this is where, instead of Hulk trying to push back, I think he actually says, yeah, I'm a bit smug. And that's not the only time. There are multiple times, instead of Hulk actually trying to push back, and look, he does once when he throws a rock, right, into orbit, but most of the other times he just takes it. Like a beaten, know your place, you're the inferior product, I'm better than you. Right here, he's just like, yeah, I'm a bit smug. It's like, oh, come off it. And she is acting that times infinity, and the show is just like, isn't she so great for it?
To be fair, stoicism. And typically, if a woman says something witty, it takes me off guard and I'll just... Well, not even witty in this case, but if a woman says something where she joshes herself up, you know what? I don't even know what I do. But I'm just saying, I understand why a guy who's more measured than me and has a lot of, practice keeping his temper in control, I understand why he wouldn't react.
No, the creators, right, they're that oblivious to the smug, condescending, inflated, self-flagellating smugness of the main character, and then they actually have her call out other people for it. It's just like, that's the oblivious nature that they have.
Did you actually write that down?
Yeah, that right here. So, condescending, arrogant, inflated, self-flagellating smugness of the main character. I get poetic when I'm angry.
Well...
Literate.
Yeah,
Literation.
Literation.
Alliteration?
No.
English.
Okay. And so then again...
Only when he's reading.
What's annoying, right, is this is dangerous stuff. This is really so dangerous that he disintegrates the blood samples. Okay, so it's bad that the blood sample's out in the world, yet it's fine that she's out in the world, in which she might get cut or the blood get out in the world easily. And it's like, there's a bit of a contradiction there in the terms of the series. And of course, she doesn't acknowledge how bad this is. Like
Whoa.
What?
Oh, no.
Is he reading the comments?
Nathan knows.
I just figured it out.
What?
Yep, okay.
She's a woman. The blood might get out there into the...
Oh, no! Oh, no! Ah! What is
Like, I hate to bring it up, but it's actually something that you need to worry about.
No! What if she's in Hulk mode when that happens?
I regret it already.
You can just...
Oh, no!
You can hold on to it.
I regret it already.
Oh, my goodness.
We'll make mistakes.
The show did it, they can't let samples get out.
Why can't I just shut my mouth once in a while?
Oh,
Maybe she
dear.
doesn't get her in Hulk form.
Okay.
Maybe she's too old. No, that's not.
Well, no, it's going into details I don't want to talk about.
Where they reproduce, so maybe she does. Yeah.
Someone saying, I don't know, please explain. We're
Maybe.
ending it there.
Maybe,
Ending it
just
there.
maybe, it's not relevant at all.
We're ending it there. So,
In the female anatomy.
we're ending it there. Moving on. So, this is an interesting exchange. She doesn't want to be Hulk, okay? Because this is like the only time where she's showing a little bit of concern for her condition. And then she says, what seems to be a fairly logical inference. She goes, you made a device that keeps you in human form. Just make it for me. And he says, it's calibrated for me. Just calibrate it for me then. And his response, like you would almost expect, okay, he's going to have to give a really logical, valid, thought-out reason why it's just impossible for her. Otherwise, this is a really obvious, easy solution to the problem.
Yeah.
And his response is, I can't.
What if...
He's already said that they share their DNA, that both of their DNAs are special.
There's an easy fix. Say it's calibrated to my individual neurons, you know? The brain is very complicated, hard
Or
to
he
replicate
can
that.
say, it took me this many years, it'll take me this many more years for you, and then she'll be like, I don't want to wait that long and still leave.
There you go.
Like, what a valid, easy conclusion that you came up with in a couple of seconds, Claudia. Yet the writers are so talented, the best excuse they were able to give the Hulk was, I can't do it. That's the writing of She-Hulk,
They not
people.
proofread
I
before
know.
they make it. I understand writing your own thing and being in a vacuum so you don't realize how bad it is, but surely they have proofreaders, they have a team, they're making it, they proof watch things.
Oh, but if you criticize them for it, they're being sexist. You can't criticize people. That's their response these days.
I'm a lady, I can't be sexist.
No, you would have internalized misogyny if you did it.
That is actually their response.
That's their response. I'm not joking.
Like, no one can win.
And then, so she says, I don't want to be a Hulk. And it's like, at this point, I'm thinking, why wouldn't you want to be? Like, look at this a bit objectively. You don't go crazy, angry when you're the Hulk. You can control it. What's the downside? You're invulnerable. You're
break it.
basically, effectively invulnerable.
Well, it destroys her shoes.
It makes her better looking. She got a better figure. She even gets bigger breasts when she changes. Holy crap.
But Shad.
No, she does.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I
that's
agree.
not
But
always
Shad,
a really good thing.
she's green.
Okay,
I do not like-
What? Are you saying that the color of her skin would be bad, Oz?
I don't know about the hem, but I know that
Step
some guys don't
carefully,
like green
please.
eggs.
in the comics, it messes with. She gets addicted to certain things.
What? What does she get addicted to?
Sex. I think she gets addicted to sex.
Oh.
And it messes with her social life. I believe it messes with her head. That's in the comics. I don't know if they can
So
do
far-
that
So
here.
you're saying Hulk smash? I'm gonna shut up now.
There isn't much of a downside, and I mean, skin color, I don't think many people will be bothered by it. Anyway.
Some people have a preference.
Some people, but
I'm more of a blue lady kind of
out
guy.
of invulnerability, super strength, better body and physique, better hair. It's hard for me to see the downside.
What would your if it wasn't white or black?
Maybe she legitimately has a problem with green skin.
That's racist.
Yeah, it's a bit.
The trailer seems to think. The trailer doesn't imply that at all.
I'm being purposely disingenuous to try and frame the fact that she could be a hidden racist.
Yeah, those
I'm so unracist.
those
I didn't
greeners.
originate.
I hate those greeners, man.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard to see a downside. Okay. Look, this next part, right? She's been acting all, I'm so great, I can control everything, and then suddenly she starts to act like, oh, woe is me, what, you know, what am I gonna do, what do you need, and it's like, bake me pancakes, it's like, I don't know.
Does that? Can I ask Claudia? Because does that feel like pandering? Like if someone's like, oh, the thing that she needs to not feel emotional is pancakes. What if it was like
pandering if I said, "Do you want something to eat if you're hangry?"
Was she hangry though?
Yeah, but it's a similar situation.
That was probably the one laugh I actually got. Because I was like, oh yeah, feed her food, she'll be happy.
See, to me, I feel like...
That's with everyone.
I feel like that's the type of stereotype that, the people who wrote this show would be really offended by.
No, but the thing I realised watching this show is that
some stereotypes they think is funny and they're like, it's quirky.
Yeah, they get to pick though, that's not fair.
No, it's not fair. They get to pick.
And they'll lean into the ones that they're like.
So, there's that, and then, she's eating the pancakes. Okay, so Hulk says something kind of important here. Avoid stressful situations, stay away from people. I remember, she took it into the Hulk, okay? She could kill people with, like, an accidental flick or careless motion. And her response, instead of actually slowing down and realising how serious this is, how dangerous she could be to others, she doesn't even listen to him or acknowledge the seriousness of what the Hulk is trying to say. And her response is, how can I do my job then?
Well...
I mean, wouldn't your first one like, oh, I might kill my best friends or family because of this strength? Like, wouldn't the normal, natural response, if you actually care about people, if you're not a narcissist, be the concern about how this would affect that part of your life, not the my career and all that crap part of life?
I think if it was an actual situation, it's a very non-natural situation. You'd probably get a non-natural response.
Well,
That's always been my thing.
If I'm being kind to the show, in that situation, her career is a big part of her life, so it's at the forefront of her mind. In the trailer makes it out that she doesn't have much of a social life.
But this is my issue. The Hulk didn't even mention the career. He literally said, stay away from people. You could be a danger to people. See...
her job is literally people.
You'd think that... okay, so if that was her thought, my job is my people, like, again, wouldn't her concern be about harming other people, not the... I want to do my job and get back to my own life.
Yeah. See, that's why I'm saying that's being kind to the show to say that. But if it was about her job, she'd say, "But I defend people for a living," or something like that.
To me, even that,
people.
like, wouldn't it be?
My whole life is people.
To me, the most natural thing is like, how can I not be a danger to people? Like, I frame it in the way
that's the thing, Shad. You're thinking ideally, right? But in a situation that isn't normal, you don't act normally.
And to me, it's one of the multiple selfish moments where not even once does she seem to put other people before herself, consider the magnitude of, like, this is just one point of evidence amongst a wealth of evidence of her selfishness. And when taken collectively, she is a selfish cow.
But just because you're selfish doesn't mean you're bad. It's her life. If she had kids, I'm sure she'd be selfish for them.
That's a philosophy I've heard before. I think there are times in which you should put other people before yourself.
Yeah, but everyone's got a degree of
no, because one of the things, like, I don't want to get into the philosophy behind it, because people say then,
but it's a big thing to say she's a selfish cow.
When people try and say selfishness is a virtue, in the sense that there is a philosophy that says that, because if you are always looking out for yourself, you will consider the thoughts and things of others, because that will in turn benefit you in return.
That's what capitalism, the principle of capitalism.
Okay, but I think there are times in which there are considerations that you need to give other people that will not benefit you, which is very important. But no, like, to me, this is one of the self-sacrificing natures between both the roles of men and women, about helping the other that might not necessarily benefit me, but will benefit other people more. Therefore, I need to do it. To me, that's the core of what a superhero is. That's the theme.
But she's not a superhero.
This is why she's an awful superhero character, and it's an awful show. Okay, like, to me, it's not giving me any vibes that they're going to give her some humility, some arc where she needs to learn the sacrifice of her powers to do the right thing. It's all just going to be all about me. I'm so great, and she's going to be a superhero because it's fun.
Yeah, I don't doubt any of that. I don't. Yeah. But I also don't agree that it's all that she's a selfish cow because she doesn't want to be a superhero.
The reasons why it makes it, and it's the collective breadth of the episode where it's consistent. This is one sign amongst many where her response is not, oh, I could be a danger to other people. It's, what about me in my life and my career? Oh, come off it. And
what about your life and your career? It matters.
No, not if it's going to risk other people's friggin' life.
Well, okay. Take it to a different social issue then. a thing that happened recently. People thought that was a risk to people's lives if you didn't get a particular thing.
No, this is not like an equivalence because this is true.
No, but
we know
I'm finding a principle,
no, because this is an exception because of the insane power she has. It's not an equivalence because she could kill someone by carelessly turning.
And that's why the principle is you could kill someone by going out into their presence if you don't have a thing.
No, because it's not an equivalence. Her power is insane. She can break worlds, okay? The threat is real and legitimate with her, okay? Where in other situations, the threat can be argued that it's not an actual threat. This one, there's no doubt.
But
she's a friggin' Hulk!
She could argue for herself.
And she'd be selfish, she was. See? That's my point.
No, I'm not conceding anything, Shad.
I'm taking the win, though.
Guys, if you choose not to go fight in a war when you can, that's not selfish.
If you have the power... No, it's not a false... It's
Muhammad Ali, one of the greatest fighters alive, chose not to.
It's not an equivalence, what you're drawing here. She would have the power to stop World War II if she fought, because she has insane power. That's what makes it selfish. It's the magnitude and level she has.
And it might be selfish, but it's understandable and justified.
No, not with the level of power she has. She has the power to save incalculable lives.
It's not about the level of power, it's about the principle.
Yes, it is. No, the principle changes based on the magnitude of what the
principle doesn't change based on the exception.
Because it's not the same principle now. But look, anyway, I don't want to keep arguing the point because we're not seeing eye to eye on it and we won't get anywhere with it.
Is conscription evil?
No, Oz, stop pushing the point. Okay? We're just not seeing eye to eye. So, all right. So they continued forward. She doesn't acknowledge what Banner's trying to say to her, and then they get into this scene, and they shill for Pixar, but the thing is, though, I do admit, Inside Out was a decent film. I liked it.
They're all owned by the same people.
Hang on, where did Inside Out come into this?
She brings up Inside Out by saying, Bing Bong did a thing thong and blah, 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 blah. I don't know what the movie I've never seen it.
Because Banner was all like, hey...
I've seen it, but I missed that.
Be emotional, and then she's like, yeah, that Pixar movie made me sad.
And so... Then comes the line we saw in the trailer, right? The triggers are anger and fear. And she says, those are the baseline of any woman. I know it was said flippantly and everything like that, but I don't know, it just makes me feel like you can't half tell this was feminist because they seem to be the baselines for the most extreme feminists is anger and fear. Anyway, that was just kind of my impression of that line there. What were your thoughts on that line? As a woman, Claudia, the baseline of any woman's anger and fear.
Not the baseline, but it exists.
But anger and fear exists in men as well. I don't know, just like... It seems that if they're trying to avoid stereotypes, I think that could be construed as a very sexist thing from a certain point of view. Yeah. And this is where the double standard annoys me, right? I think actually sometimes making a joke that you know is an exaggerated stereotype that isn't true just for the sake of humour is fine. This would be fine. But the thing is, though, the people who write this show are the type of people who will cry bloody murder at those types of jokes, yet then they do it at the same time, and because they're entitled to choose. Exactly, and it's just hypocrisy at that point, and it's friggin' annoying.
I sort of make jokes about the real things, not the fake ones.
No, but, like, the exaggeration of it, you know? Like... There's the stereotype that Asians are bad drivers, right? And it's like you shouldn't perpetuate that stereotype because you know it's it's racist and everything like that until you actually go to an Asian country.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, you know, people say that. I went to Bali in Japan, and I'm just saying, I think there's a vein of truth there. I nearly died. Holy crap! I'm not kidding, right? So I took a taxi in Bali, and the taxi driver was driving like a madman, right? We're driving down this road. The roads are just deteriorating. They have like these massive craters on the side. And it's not like, you know, where you have a gutter. It's like a broken, cracked end part of the road. Like it fell off into a chasm.
Sounds like Victoria.
And so you feel like you're going to die if you go too far off. Then he swerves into oncoming traffic while there's cars in it. Revs, nearly kills us and takes it as like, holy crap.
And I think the road and traffic situation is different over there. And that's why it's like that.
But, so the thing is though, sometimes, like, you can play with those stereotypes in a harmless yet very funny way. And so, the Asian bad driving thing, right, is, in Modern Family, there was this episode where the two couples, they were the gay couple, they go to a doctor, and she's Asian, and one of the guys gets really over, and he starts, you know, pandering to her and everything, comically exaggerating, and she's like, you don't need to do that, I just don't like people treating me like this, this, like a stereotype. And then she gets in her car and she backs into someone, smashes their window, right after she says, I just don't want people to treat me like a stereotype. And then they show her she's like this awful driver, and it was a funny, humorous juxtaposition on the contradiction of the setup, and you can play with it, and it was funny.
I just can't believe that you said Modern Family was funny.
That was a funny moment in Modern Family. What, you think there's no funny moments in it?
No, I just think the show sucks.
Okay.
It does.
I honestly, I'd need to watch it again. It was a while ago, but that was a funny moment that I remember. And the thing is, though, for an ultra-progressive show, I don't think they would get away with that type of humour these days, because stereotypes and all that stuff, when at least they did have the balls, even back then, to have some fun with, harmless stereotypes, because they're actually not offensive, and you can, But anyway, the ultra-aggressive, easily offended crowd, the people who are making this, they're hypocrites. They'll push stereotypes when they think it's appropriate, but it's not actually funny. Like, this wasn't a joke, and I'm still waiting for the humour in this show, and I'm not getting it. Okay, so there's that. Interesting death cage that he has here for reasons. It seems like a very ultra-specific bit of machinery that
Tony built.
Yeah. Why?
Sorry, someone in chat's asking what martial arts do I know. No martial arts, but I'm very skilled in mental gymnastics.
Okay, so, death cage, okay. And then she transforms, he thinks she's hulking out, and she's like, why are you talking to me like I'm some untrained horse or something like that? Like, what, you can control it? And yeah, now she can just control it so easily, undermining all the difficulty Bruce had to go through to get to that point, and she can just do it. And look,
does that undermine him, though,
how easily she plays it off like it's nothing.
Like, if you take, Michael Jordan, is that his name, the basketballer? Michael Jordan, and someone who's talented and had an easier time working, does his existence undermine Michael Jordan? And didn't have to work as hard as Michael Jordan.
I think there's a difference. Yeah, I think there's a difference between reality and a show where they intentionally chose to do this, okay? And they didn't need to frame it in such a way that makes Hulk look like one, pathetic, useless, and he shows that he's frustrated and he's angry with how easily it is. Like, I'm jealous. Am I jealous? Why am I jealous? And all that stuff. And like, they chose to do that, and they didn't need to. And so it feels like, they're very much undermining his progress.
But again, though, remember that if you're going by the comic thing, his thing was repressed rage, so he comes out as a
this is what I was going to say. I'd like to know how they handle it in the comics, because if it's as cheap as it's done here, I would have the same criticism. Just because she can control it in the comics, it depends on her execution. I haven't seen, looked up how it happens in the comics. All I've seen is the show about this, and this feels very cheap, very disingenuous, and specifically contextualized in a way to rob the Hulk of all the sacrifice he did. It's like, yeah, I can do it. What? Maybe she could have just shown a bit of remorse and sympathy for the fact that it was so easy for her. It's like, look, I don't understand what you went through. I don't know why this is so easy, why it happens to me like this, but let's be a bit grateful that I don't have to go through the same difficulty you went. And that's acknowledging the hell he went through, where she just plays it off like, sucks to be you.
But I don't think they're going to have moments like that, because the writers probably think comedy doesn't do that.
Or they think, man.
Even though comedy does do that.
Yeah, it can.
Sometimes comedy can be like some of the deepest stuff.
You're absolutely right.
But I think these writers think this is a comedy, so we can't have those kinds of moments.
I think about Mrs. Doubtfire, the movie with Robin Williams, right?
Yeah.
That has a heart-wrenching scene at the end where he's expressing his love for his kids and that they're taking away his kids. And it's a comedy film, yet it can really stab you in the heart.
They couldn't make that movie these days, could they?
No, they couldn't. So you're absolutely right. Comedy doesn't need to have robbed of serious, valid, emotion to it.
But I think this is why this is happening here.
Okay. Now, I've already talked about that. I feel this contradicts the previous transformations, so don't mention it again. The CGI looks so crap, though. Oh gosh. It's like, and so this is where she kind of just plays off, where Hulk says, you don't have another guy to wrestle with for 10 years. And she says, oh, cool. Like, I'm so great. Look at, it's again one of the... And now she says, that explains the transformation. She says, the first time was so intense I could barely remember anything. Now it's settled in. And to me, that was like, oh, bull crap. It's so easy. Again, talking about how easy now she can just handle it. Yeah. At no point did she give any indication that she was in control in those previous transformations.
What, the first one?
The first two. That she did. Anyway. Like
this is the first one, though. Oh, sorry,
No,
wait. First time she
transforms,
ran away, and then when the guys showed up, So two,
Okay, so there's a line where she says, I can't stay like this for 2 years. And to me, again, I was like, why? There's no really implied issues here. You don't have any of the problems that, he has.
why does she need to stay then?
Oh, I think it's like it'll be interesting to see where the series goes as to what form she's going to prefer, because logic just by the setup would be like being She-Hulk permanently is
the trailer implies she likes She-Hulk.
Like you're better looking, you're stronger, and you're basically invincible, and so you're protected from most types of danger and harm. Yeah, you'll just be She-Hulk permanently.
You're also green though.
I would say it's a fair, like not even a fair trade. It's like that. Yeah, that doesn't matter.
In this universe, I think they're exposed to more things, so being green there is probably different to being green here.
Yeah, but that's the thing though, you guys think it's easy, but it's not easy being green.
So this is just another point amongst the many points in the show where Hulk is actually saying some legitimate important things about the magnitude of what's going on, and every single time she plays it off and does not listen to him. Like she's a know-it-all and everything. Iris says, I don't think you understand how dangerous this level of power is. That's very important. And you know what she says? I'll be careful.
She seems to be sentient though, so...
She doesn't understand at all, and like... It's just frustrating because it happens again and again where Hulk is actually saying logical things here. You don't understand the power you have. You could be a danger for others. All these things. There's responsibility associated with what's happening to you. The reality is, any half-sane person would be freaked out by what's happened for the magnitude of what you're capable of. Holy crap, I could break the earth in two now if I wanted to. That's in ridiculous, ludicrous level of power, and she doesn't give a crap.
I can see how this reaction could be done well. Maybe she's in shock. She's coping. She's ignoring the situation. That is a form of cope. But I don't think
that would be interesting.
Not really, what they're doing here.
Imagine if she's actually not taking it seriously because she's afraid of what it actually means, and she's deflecting it.
That is a real form of cope.
That would be interesting. They're not doing that though here. It's like she's like, I got a handle on it. I get to do it. Everything. I'm perfect, and there's nothing to worry about. And they give no indication that this is a deflection or a coping mechanism. Wonder if they'll bring it up later on. I do not have faith that the writers have that level of insight. I'd love to be wrong, but okay. So there was one line I liked, and it was given with some forcefulness. Okay, when people start seeing you as a monster that never goes away, and that line was delivered half decently. It was a strong, resonant line.
Well, it does go away though.
It did. It actually, you're right. It did kind of get contradicted. But to that, her response was
people coming up asking for autographs and pictures now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But her response was like, "Fine, teach me how to Hulk." And it's like he had to push it that far to even get her to reluctantly go, "All right, yeah." Like, and so to me, even that line was robbed and undermined by her response to it. Okay. All right, so they go to the behavioral therapy style. So skip forward. This is when they're meditating.
Why did this? Okay. Does this take place the same day?
It feels like it.
Yeah, so why is she's not...
She's a human now.
Yeah, why is she not Hulk lady anymore?
Good question.
What happened? Oh, man, I've got one. Look, I've got one.
Do we want to skip to the next... Are we going to talk about this scene?
Well, no. There was an interesting line that I feel the writers are particularly adept at. Like, they're experienced at this. He says, the behavioral therapy allows us to hold two opposing truths at the same time. I was like, writers, I see you.
Yeah, that is a, what's it called, cognitive dissonance?
Yep.
But then again, everyone's full of those, so...
Okay, some more so than others, though, I think. And we see the contradictions already about, they're willing to pick the stereotypes that they're, and then they'll criticize other people for it and all that stuff. Okay, and then, comedy line, guys. Ready? Are you ready for it?
What's the comedy line?
It's astronomical, top tier comedy. Hold in your farts.
Okay, now that's okay, Shad. You're the pot. That's the kettle. you're saying that farts are not the pinnacle of humor?
If she actually farted, that might have been funny. But she doesn't fart. She's like, oh yes, concentrate, namaste, hold in your farts. That's the peak of comedy.
Imagine if she farted and it came out green.
She transforms into a Hulk just a fart and causes a crater.
See, but you're literally doing it now. Okay, literally doing it now.
And it made you laugh.
I wasn't laughing. I was cringing.
That's the purpose behind it, and achieve their desired result. See, laughing.
Is everyone happy? He's laughing. Everyone's laughing.
You gotta laugh.
And it's all this guy.
So, Sonic cheeks clapping.
Cringe
Someone
laughs.
says in the chat.
Oh, just like Hulk.
No, there's the comedy, guys. That's the level of comedy, and because I'm not saying farts aren't funny, but it's execution.
They're actually hilarious. You know what Ben used to do?
The execution of this is just cringe. It's and it's not even good cringe.
Don't out him.
No, it's funny. I'm sure he would be fine with it. He would fart or burp. He'd be like, woo! Every single time. Every 10 minutes. Love Ben. That's why I killed him and ate him.
So
when I farted from that, you can bet I went, ooh.
Okay. So, guys, are you ready to see the talent of the writers, where they are aware of the continuity of their own show, scene from scene? They're just so keenly aware of it that they just don't make blatant slap in the face
I
contradictions.
know this is sarcasm, but we've already watched it.
So what form is she in here?
She's human.
Okay, and he tells her to go to sleep.
Yes.
And she's human when she sleeps.
Yes.
And then he air her horn, blows her, and she wakes up, and he says, you do revert to gen form when you sleep. It's like,
Yeah.
but she wasn't gen form when she went to sleep.
Yeah.
And I was like, but then they'll say, guys, it happened off screen. She clearly, he said you revert to gen form, which means she must have been in Hulk form when she went to sleep.
It's just continuity.
But if she was in Hulk form when she went to sleep, the bed would have already broken.
Yeah. And
Because
also,
the bed cannot sustain Hulk form weight. She turns into it, and so therefore, the first time she's in Hulk form in this bed is right here. Blatant contradiction.
Fair.
Hulk says you turn into gen form when you go to sleep.
To counter that, to be fair, she might have had laid on the bed and rolled onto it, spreading out her mass. But when she sat up, it broke under her bum.
To counter that.
All of that force on one single point
to
that
counter.
could break it in half.
To counter. Let me put down my... Oh, you've revealed my trap card, right? It's got a penis. She would have, Okay, so...
It's like spreading on ice when you crawl on ice versus walking on ice.
Yeah, I get that, right? But the fact that if she was bigger and then got smaller, that weight is being pressed into a smaller area means it's harder for the bed to support. If it was larger, spread over a larger area, easier for it to support. If you get...
That's what I said.
So, first of all...
Then it would have... But she...
I know you're doing it sarcastically
Yes.
to show that the level of... mental gymnastics you need to go to try and justify this scene and add in your own headcanon is to a ridiculous extent. I'm still going to take it seriously and reply. So that means she legitimately was expecting the bed to break, where it's implied that she wasn't expecting to break at all, and she slid into the bed in She-Hulk form in the most delicate way possible not to break it because she was aware, no. It's a blatant contradiction. They're not even aware of the continuity of their show from scene to scene.
Do you reckon she's gonna break the beds in the Tinder section? When we get to that part in the show?
Probably.
Yeah,
I reckon they'll do that.
Break some pelvises too. Death by Snoo Snoo!
Oh,
we
gosh.
finally have it in live action!
She'll sneeze in the act and crush him. Okay, so...
Shad, I don't think the sneeze is needed there, because, you see...
We're stopping you there. Stopping you right there. No. No, Oz.
We are
No.
live.
Okay.
This is live.
We do it live!
Oh my goodness. So Revert. So, it's just amazing. The incompetence of this writing is so blatant that even here, they didn't even check that she was in Hulk form when she went to bed, and then contradict by the bed breaking, which means...
And that's just page 2.
Okay, and still got 2 pages to go, everyone. Okay, they get out thing, and they're doing yoga. Spandex is your friend.
People in chat are telling me to explain Hulk sex.
No.
Okay.
Okay, rock throwing. Rock throwing. Okay, so the contradictory, cowishness of this character is constant. Okay, I want you to pay attention to what happens here. She throws a rock. Oh, sorry. Hulk throws rock. Okay, yes. And she's like, yeah. Throws it further than him. Celebrates it pushing yourself further is a thing to be celebrated. Yeah. So Hulk picks up a rock, throws one into orbit, and a response to him is like, "Good on ya."
I don't think it went into orbit though. I think it disintegrated from heat.
No,
but from memory, didn't she go like, "Yeah, good job"?
The thing is,
yeah.
What Hulk did was equivalent to what she did to him. She celebrated what she did, but if Hulk did, "Oh, you're such a tryhard. You're a friggin' tryhard." But because you're a two-faced.
Did she go like, "Yeah, good work"?
Yes.
From memory, I thought she went like, "Yeah, good job."
No. Watch, ready? We'll...
Nah, she just walks. She walks like, "Oh yeah, whatever."
Yep, ready. Take it down, Nathan.
Yes, down.
Yep. So he throws into orbit.
Yeah, it disintegrates.
See? Yeah. Good on you. You try hard, even though that's what you friggin' did the moment before. But she is such a two-faced cow that, again, contradictory crap.
To count, devil's advocate.
Go.
If this is a relationship between cousins, she throws it, she throws it further. His throw was very exaggerated.
I thought
over the top.
I thought relationships between cousins only existed in Tasmania.
Oh, don't be mean to Tasmanians.
What, they're green too.
It's a beautiful land.
It actually is. Why do they get it?
Tasmania is gorgeous.
Like New Zealand, it should be
untamed.
Okay. I do know a Tasmanian who, when she's talking to people and she says, "Are you from Tasmania?" "Okay, are you related to these people? Yes or no?" She checks.
Oh.
It is a thing being related to people.
It's a stereotype and joke and stuff in Australia.
It's a small area.
It is. All right, yeah, I know what you're saying, but it's all about the execution.
That's what I think. Yeah. They're trying to go for a cousin smack relationship and they're failing. And also, it's just, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And again, she just comes off like a full-blown narcissist because she literally just did that to him, and at no point is he really digging at her in this. It would be a buddy thing if he's teasing her and pushing back. The whole anything you can do, I can do better. Where the other person is pushing back, I'm better than you. You're better than me and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's only one way in this. He constantly just rolls over like a whipped dog every time she tells him she's better than him. This is the only time he pushes back. The next time.
When they fight?
No, man, there's multiple times where he just takes it, ready? Like this next one. Men.
I do that when I get out of the shower.
Okay, I didn't like this
in that
scene.
same pose.
Again, this show hates men. It wants to belittle them, make them out look like idiots, sexist, everything. And this is another thing.
Why did she have to do that? Why couldn't she be like Hulk smash and make
exactly?
Hulk?
But no, men.
Yeah, it was stupid.
Cringe.
I'm not the only one. You guys should try it. You might actually enjoy it.
Okay. So, could you take it down for a second, Nathan?
Yep.
So here we have the balancing scene. Okay. This is difficult for Hulk to do, okay? He's struggling to balance right here.
He is a large guy with probably a very different center of gravity, but that is extreme.
At the same time.
That is extreme.
With Hulk power, she has gotten magical Hulk gymnastic ability as well.
Yeah, but to be fair...
Because girl power.
To be fair, right, in terms of, not muscle size, but, overall proportions for his limbs, he is exactly the same size as a baby, except for a smaller head. Do you see that?
Oh my goodness.
Do you see it?
Yes.
If he had a bigger head, maybe.
I'll give him mine.
Actually, how easy would it be for him to touch his fingers over his head?
And so, again, this whole, like, complete Mary Sue bullcrap, right? I'm better than you, look at me, you can't do this. And it's not justified in any measure. She didn't have that gymnastics ability, well, they don't establish her having any gymnastic or physical ability, and she's just got Hulk powers, but if Hulk powers gave an inherent sense for balance, why can't Hulk do it?
Well,
it's a guy.
To be fair, the Hulk thing is affecting them differently. But that is exaggerated and just a dumb scene.
It's because she's better than him. Like what the show says, I'm better than you. She is. The show believes that. They're showing it to be the case. And it's the Mary Sue thing where it robs her of any interesting progression. It would have been really interesting to see her constantly struggle with this strength. She picks up a glass and shatters it, and she can't control or regulate the strength.
Yeah.
And Hulk is like, this is why we need to keep you here, because if you go in the real world and you shake someone's hand, you're going to crush it, right?
Yeah.
And showing her, give her an arc of figuring out how to control the strength would be interesting. They can't do it at all, because that means she might have some weaknesses or vulnerabilities and can't do that because girl power, you know?
Yeah, and that's what makes characters interesting and us relate to them, is if they have weaknesses and failures.
Yeah.
But if your biggest weakness is you're just like not very fun to talk to.
Like, this lady would be awful to be in a room with. Like,
What would be some good weaknesses for her, though?
well, that, like I mentioned, right, that would be really interesting, that having trouble controlling the strength and everything. And it would be interesting if there is a rage component when she's in She-Hulk that she does have a bit of trouble controlling. And like, this would be interesting, where she's actually cognizant. She is aware of herself, yet she still has greater rage and anger in that form that she needs to learn to try and manage. Another weakness, an interesting arc that they could have put her on. It could have been
Explore the cope thing. Trying to ignore the
there
situation.
was so many opportunities for something interesting here, and they abandoned all of it.
They admitted themselves they're not good writers.
Yeah.
Why would you ever admit that?
Yeah, wouldn't you be afraid that if you said that as a writer to your employer,
like,
they'd pay you less?
Hulk right
If I
here.
say, don't criticize it too much. I'm not good enough yet.
But if you did the eyes, then it might.
Hulk is, the creators are unaware that they have inserted the audience's reaction and opinion of the character at this moment, because it's reflecting the audience feeling just like, this...
Looks like he's taking a crap.
Someone says in the comics she originally did have a rage issue.
Wouldn't it? There we go,
It's a Hulk thing. So.
I don't believe that Hulk has a rage issue. Come on now. That's a conspiracy.
So, here, she literally says, it's easy. Again, it just... I'm so great, arrogant, conceited, not
Did
trying...
she change?
Is this another day, maybe?
Yeah, she did. Aha! Leave it to me to notice what a woman's wearing. Yeah, that's my point, right? That's my point. I didn't notice what the guy's wearing. I noticed what the girl's wearing.
Okay.
It's pink.
I mean, hers is more different than her previous outfit.
So, here, Hulk, she's like, it's easy, I'm so great and everything. They punch the ground. So this is where they punch the ground. She punches the ground better than him. And he doesn't try and one-up or anything like that. And she's like, again, it's easy, I'm better than you. Here, he pushes her off.
I have a thing, though. I have a thing for that. Okay? He has spent all this time trying to 15 years trying to control his strength and limit it. So there's an explanation. It's BS and it is mental gymnastics.
Yeah, and it's headcanon.
It might be justifiable.
If they actually explored that properly, there's something interesting there. They don't do it here.
To counter what you just said, I don't think they have the skills to write mental gymnastics.
I am betrayed.
And then...
We're doing useless mental gymnastics, and there's nothing deep to this show, and we're just wasting our brain power.
Oh, my goodness. So Hulk pushes her off a cliff. She gives him the finger. He looks a bit petty as a result, but then she just jumps up and's like, I'm clearly nailing all these things. Why am I even here? Again, she's like, okay.
And then she goes back to the city and clearly nails all those things on Twitter. And Tinder. Whatever. Same bloody thing. Both used by the same people.
And then she's like, when am I going to use this as a lawyer? Still selfishly ignoring the seriousness of what's happened and all that. It's like she doesn't care she doesn't care about what this means for others in regards to what's happened to her.
If this was well written, it could be, if it had been well written, it could have been that they have different struggles, and she's like, this is easy, but her struggles are different, versus he has easier things and his struggles are different.
There's no balance, though. It comes off so just conceited. But hey, the only upside to being a Hulk is you can drink and not get drunk.
This annoyed me.
I mean, the fact that like you're invulnerable and mostly invulnerable, that's not an upside. You're like, you know.
It's funny but in Captain America, he said the worst thing about this is that I can't get drunk.
Yeah.
Thing is though, he says they still get a buzz from drinking alcohol, which that one doesn't make sense.
And
So
she
they
still
can't get
got a
drunk,
hangover.
and then she still gets hangover. Yeah, it's like what?
And he goes, and he
Yeah.
was like, yeah, hangovers.
But the thing is, they make it so it's like, oh, it takes a lot to make us really drunk, right?
Yeah.
You don't. That's not good. If you
No.
if people could take a pill just to get drunk, they would. If it was that simple, people don't like spending tons of money on beer.
That's the weird thing. Like, I didn't think people.
Why do you want to drink that much?
Yeah, I didn't think people
You can't hold that much liquid inside.
Yeah, you're not my
It
dad.
hurts your tummy.
They probably just urinated heaps. Like, and you know those high pressure
Hulk
hoses that
splash.
can just cut things. It's a backup power. They need a ranged attack.
It's like he doesn't need.
Just go out and clean the concrete when you're taking a pee.
I don't need heat vision.
Well, you have to go out into the ocean because you'd break the toilet.
Like, could it allow them to levitate? Give them some lift. You know those water jet
It's like tries to put out a burning building and collapses it.
She could adopt the meditating stance.
Yo, if she was real, she could sell that pee for so much money. People are so weird.
Oh my goodness, you're
Hulk
right.
bathwater.
Oh, and it's depressing. Okay, so it's just this is not lifting the show, but it's stuff to be mocked and laughed at because it's all crap.
Yeah.
And I didn't think people drank alcohol for the taste. There's a lot of tasty drinks
Well,
you can drink. Like, you know.
That's the thing, though. This is where the bias for women writing this comes in, right? Girls' drinks at bars are delicious, and we can't drink them. I mean, I can't because I'm a woman now. But guys can't drink them because you look like a pussy. Because imagine this. I would like a vanilla daiquiri with some raspberry and some lemonade.
Can't
Sorry.
you just be like, I want this one, but hold on the umbrellas and put it in a beer cup?
She's broken the world. Holy crap. Look,
But also-
this is the unhidden code that you're accessing there, Claudia. Okay.
Logic.
Oh, this show doesn't
You
do
dare
that.
use my own male spells against me?
So, hangover because reasons. All right, so, oh boy. Here is an interesting exchange.
I've forgotten this whole show at this point.
Okay.
It's replaced with Shad's retelling of it.
She's still obsessed with leaving, getting back to her own life, not thinking about the significance and how this will actually affect others and things. I'm not going to be a superhero, and, you know, this is where I had written, we've already covered, there's a lot of reasons why they could justify her reluctance here. Hulk, even though you have these powers, it is still dangerous. The Hulk did almost get killed at certain points and everything. Instead, all the reasons she tries to give of not being a Hulk later is stuff that's not affecting her. She doesn't have to deal with the alter ego, the rage issues, the difficulty with transforming, everything like that. And that's when she's like, and she just basically rips off his nuts and drags him through the dust, really like, you're a cautionary tale, Bruce. Your life has been ruined by this. Don't let it ruin my life and all that
I mean,
crap.
it literally has, though.
It has, but the thing is,
Up to
though,
this point.
none of that is true for what she's dealing with. She doesn't have any of those issues that's caused the life ruination for Bruce upon her. But there are other things she could actually have explored to help justify her reluctance, but they don't do that. And therefore, it comes off incredibly selfish.
I get it,
They could have
incredibly.
explored the having trouble turning back thing.
Wouldn't that be interesting? Okay? It's like, now
She
she's
doesn't
really
want
reluctant.
to be She-Hulk, now she needs his help because she wants to change back. And
But
then
they d-
that would
but the thing
explain
is-
this whole situation.
That would give her flaws, and she has to be perfect and better than him. You see? This is like the box these types of writers with these types of philosophies have when they write. It's like we need to make him perfect, but I can't give him flaws. And
You know what?
We
I
get this.
don't even think it gets to that level.
You reckon?
I think
They're
it's
not even
literally
aware
just
of
like
this.
honestly, I don't think they put any thought into it. It's like, okay, so they do this, and then I don't know, they do some yoga and they have a fight.
You know, probably
I
this
think
is
it's
all
just that.
writing instinct from
Yeah.
their world experience and writing the type of character they think is great, sassy, fun. This is their world that they're trying to reflect.
Well, Game of Thrones did the same thing, and those are dude writers.
We're just wasting brain power.
Yeah,
Trying to look into this stuff.
Yeah.
That's surface level.
Yeah, and so, oh gosh, this is where, Bruce says we're two of the few people on Earth capable of protecting it. Again, she doesn't give a crap, okay? These are important points he's raising, and this is where we get, one of the most amazing things where,
Something amazing?
Amazingly bad, like where she is just like the most she is the most oppressed, mistreated person in the world because she's a woman, and
this scene.
and she deals with so much harassment that she is infinitely better at controlling her anger than you, Bruce. Like the hubris and entitlement of this scene made me gag. I'm not kidding.
This water's making me gag.
Seriously, so I'm great at controlling.
No.
She's like, I'm great at controlling my anger, getting catcalled, having incompetent men explain my own area of expertise. Oh, cry me a friggin' river. As if that's the problems in your life, you're the most privileged person on the planet. And this is the thing, right? Yeah, I think I'd almost... Actually, I would guarantee, because I'm a more public figure than this character is, I get more harassment than she does, right?
Well, she's a prosecutor.
I get people that, even emailing me with abusive emails and stuff like that. And guess what? If that's the biggest problem in my life, I'm the most privileged person on the planet.
Yeah.
Like, there are people who are starving, who live in third world countries, who deal with horrible things, who are in war zones, yet she's the friggin' victim. And she gets on this pedestal like, you don't know what I go through. And she has the friggin' gall to say...
You don't know what I've seen.
You
don't know what I've seen.
She actually poses as a victim, and she even says that she is 1,000 times better at managing her anger than him, because he's never dealt with the crap she's had to deal with. He hasn't dealt with crap. He hasn't had governments hunting him where he's had to hide in third world countries or anything like that. But you're the oppressed one, you cow!
Well, she's a prosecutor. So she's the oppressor. And in fact, she probably does get a lot of hate mail, but she's a prosecutor and deserves it, so...
Oh my goodness, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And she... Yeah, and she's like, look, let's capture some of...
Cringe.
It's utter crap. Maybe we'll go slowly and try and capture some of this, but we could get pinged.
And the whole time, the Hulk mansplains to her.
I know. Oh yeah, this is it, Ready? Wait. Catcalled in the street. I was like, oh, you poor, horrible, mistreated person. This is the worst stuff in the world. Well, and I'm not saying, look, catcalled, people call me awful things online. I'm not sure that's such a horrible thing that, ruins your life. I'm not saying... And also, again, it makes me wonder, what type of catcalling? Because we've seen the videos where people's just saying, hey, how you doing? Is a catcall now. And it's like, okay, people can't even say hi to you. Hi.
But it's tricky. It's an individual thing, I think.
Yeah. Also, I think it's also a quantity as well. As an individual... Let me gather my thoughts.
Okay.
Well, look at celebrities,
it's
right?
Quantity. If she's walking down the street and she can't, walk in peace, it's going to be annoying for her. Not necessarily these individuals are bad people because of it, and they don't know that everyone else is catcalling her, but you can see how it would be annoying.
Well... Okay, if we're going to look at it this way, okay, let's be a bit honest here, right? Look at the way she dresses and everything like that. Is she really the type of person that people are going to be like, hey, how are you doing when they see it's
But she didn't say that was a problem, being catcalled.
No, she says, getting constantly catcalled. And so, listen.
To be fair...
she's not, sorry, you're not a knockout, but people aren't going to be catcalling a lawyer walking down the street.
Did you see her in Orphan Black?
Granted.
We saw a lot of her in that.
Point.
Yeah. But it's not just what we perceive as attractive ladies being catcalled. Some people who we don't perceive as attractive will get catcalled.
Yeah. Look at and some people like him big and green. Look at the Shrek fandom community.
Yeah, so she says, this is her line. She literally says, I'm an expert at controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you. To Bruce. Now, okay, first of all, arrogant entitlement, but with the type of person that they're depicting, she actually does seem like a very angry person. I might believe that she gets unreasonably triggered at the most inconsequential things.
That's the pot calling the kettle black.
This isn't inconsequential, Oz. This is important stuff. And I do it for comedy, you know. Like.
Sorry, 1 second. 1 second. I just got my water. Every time.
What is wrong with it?
I don't know, there's just some flavour in it.
Stop drinking it.
But no, so there's layers to this, right? You know, she says, if I don't control myself, I might get called emotional or difficult or being angry. It's like, hang on. Guys get, like, told that as well. If I'm being overly emotional, people tell me that.
Well, it's a bit of a two thing, because like on one side we're told don't get angry and aggressive and stuff like that, because that's bad, that's toxic masculinity. On the other side, come on, open up, express yourself, stuff like that. See, it's a lie at both ends. No, be perfectly centered, don't even smile.
And then she goes to the extremes, like, you know, like, her life is oppressed because people might call her overly emotional, when so far she has shown herself to be a far more angry and emotional person just objectively by her actions in this show, and she's getting really emotional in this scene trying to say I control my anger in the process of her losing her anger. So they're contradicting themselves there.
She's not saying she's oppressed though, she's just saying she controls her anger.
Yeah, but in the context of the oppression she faces as a woman. That's the whole context of this. And
you gotta admit, Claudia, they do, like, the modern day feminist thing is like men have oppressed women and continue to oppress women forever.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
And she even goes like, and I might just literally get murdered. In the context that, you know, women are going to be the victims of violent assault vastly more than men, when that is profoundly untrue. Men are the victims of violent crime to an order like double and more than women. It's
but women
vastly
are
more.
Women are more vulnerable to it.
Yeah.
Men aren't.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying men are the victims of violent crime more than women. It's statistical, you can look it up, okay?
Yeah.
Men are more willing to be violent against other men than they are against other women. When they are against women, it's horrible and injuries occur, but the fact that they're trying to frame that, again, it's that narrative there, they try and ignore all the problems that actual men face that is disproportionate to women. Men get sentenced to greater crimes. Get greater sentences for the same crimes as women.
Yeah.
They commit suicide more than women. They suffer from homelessness to a greater degree than women.
I've listened to John Pearson too, but like, the point is that if this is a thing that's what's important to women, you know, like being scared of men and their strength.
No. This is the thing, though. They're only framing it like women have to face issues, and especially when they go to the extreme that I might literally get murdered, framing it like women are the only victims of violent crime.
I don't think they're doing that. I think they're saying women are scared of men's strength.
To be fair, this is a show about a woman. It isn't about a man or about a woman and a man. It's about a woman.
She's purposely trying to be a victim, right? Trying to claim all these horrible things that are oppressing her in her life when she is obviously one of the most privileged people on the damn planet.
Well, we could turn that back on ourselves.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not privileged.
No, I'm talking about me, not you.
I'm not trying to, you know, if I wanted to, I could latch on to all similar things that's happened to me in my life. That's where I've been violently assaulted, I get abused and all this stuff like that. And I think I could actually have a greater wealth of stuff that I could appeal to for sympathy than this lady could.
How would you know?
Well, just through context and also in terms of abuse.
How would you know? Objectively.
Statistical likelihood is I could say it's more likely.
If I say as an individual to you two, I'm scared to walk out at night, and you say, oh, but if a man walks out at night, men attack each other too. But I'm saying,
but you know the response
as
is
an individual, I'm scared of walking out at night.
Like an honest guy's response is like, do you want me to walk with you to give you peace of mind?
No, but that's what she's. But then you
No, I'm
because
not asking for help.
She
I'm saying
says
it's a thing.
She says I can just get literally murdered. Obviously,
so could anyone.
Yeah, but that's the whole point she's making.
Yeah,
I'm scared of walking out at night. Well, you know, guys can get murdered too.
It's
not
a
just
show
you.
about an individual.
And if that's the case, like, you know, why would walking with her be help? Because you could get murdered too.
Look, it's just the framing for me, right? It seems like, again, they're trying to push the narrative that all these men bad, all these horrible things that women face that men don't face, ignoring the fact that there are just as many things. How about you just say the world has horrible things in it that both men and women have to deal with, and we could work together to try and overcome them instead of trying to vilify one side and victim complex the other.
I don't think they are in this sense. I think they're saying what's important and
scary for women. The crap that she's saying, like, oh, people might call you emotional. Like, oh, come off it. Oh, you know, catcalling.
We literally
like, these
started
are
this
no,
whole
no.
thing with that.
These are the problems in your life. Get over yourself. You're not a victim of it if these are the things you're listing.
Yeah, but look at what we're complaining about in a literal list. We're
What do you mean?
complaining,
Yeah.
like if she's not allowed to complain about the problems in her life of potentially getting murdered, you know, having to deal with anger and having to deal with men she finds incompetent, which in this universe seems to be the case.
Yeah. And in
as bad as it is.
context.
Disingenuously
Yeah, yeah.
framed to be that way.
Yeah, okay. Well, she's angry about that with her entire world changing now, but we're getting strung up about a TV show. If we're making
Yeah, but
these
I'm not
judgments.
using a bad TV show to contextualize my life as being a victim and horribly oppressed.
I mean, you are saying
No,
if
I'm
I
not.
compare my life to hers.
No. I'm saying if I wanted to, I would have more fuel or things to draw from in terms of the abuse that I get online. I like people literally making videos about me and saying all these horrible things, right? Lying about me objectively and all that stuff. And because I'm a public figure, I would have a vast more, you know, amounts of things to try and draw from. And no, I'm not going to do that because what you do is you ignore that crap.
In this context, I think saying getting murdered is a bit extreme.
Yes!
But and it is a bit cringe. The whole script is cringe in the context. But I think also, if we're watching a movie about an individual and their individual struggles, if it's about that, then it's about that.
Yeah, but to me, there's also...
But I can also see how
yeah.
in the show, the show is just mindless drivel.
Yeah, and one of the ways to try and help address people deal with issues in their life is actually to try and help them validate what is valid and ignore the stuff that can be ignored and also show the stuff that isn't valid instead of saying, you know, that catcalling is probably not as big an issue as you think, okay? And the emotional stuff, you might be able to look at that a bit different. And then if there are things that are legitimately, you know, making her life horrible, then let's talk about that and
That's the
acknowledge that.
question.
But that
What
can
determines
also-
what's legitimate? What
Yeah.
determines that? If it's a personal thing,
Yeah.
what determines what's legitimate?
Well, if you
Or
want to validate
minimising
everything,
things.
that means anyone can just...
I don't want to validate everything.
good.
I
Well,
ask
you
the
don't
question:
have
what
to
determines
validate
everything?
it.
What determines if it's valid?
There's a difference between validating something and minimizing something.
Yeah.
To say if I say stubbing my toe on a wall every day is a legitimate problem for me, and you say, well, at least it's not your whole foot.
I once stubbed my toe on the same brick like 4 times in a week, blood everywhere
At
each
least you
time.
didn't lose your arm, so it's not the worst problem you can have.
No, but sometimes that's the way I deal with issues in my life.
And that's
right?
a bad way.
No, it actually helps me. It helps me be more humble and accept, like, I have issues. I have sleep apnea, okay? I have chronic fatigue and everything like that. I could get really hung up on my health issues that make life difficult. You know the way that I fix that? Is that I look at my blessings and I look at people who have it vastly worse than me and say, wow, when I look at it in
Yeah.
this light, I've got nothing
Yeah.
to
But
complain
in
about
this
because my life is
situation-
incredibly blessed. You should focus on the blessings
Yeah,
that you
but when
have.
it impacts
Instead,
you.
if you just focused on the negative, you could give yourself a victim complex to think
We
you're
just-
a victim and
If we
horrible.
focus on the negative,
But in this situation,
this
she's
show we
saying
will.
she's talking about anger. She's not talking about overcoming anger. She's saying I
Yeah.
have anger.
and also, Shad,
I deal with it.
you're fine to, like, and everyone is, when it's relevant, complain about it or bring it up as a subject. When
What do you
it's-
mean?
Like, if you have sleep apnea and, you know, it was like, too tired to film today. Makes sense.
Yeah, it's relevant to
5
that
ADHD, I'm not going to be good working today because I don't have my medication. Same thing.
Yeah.
Talking about stress and anxiety and
Yeah,
fear and
but
stuff.
it's taking what I was saying out of context. What I'm saying is that I don't dwell on that, and that
Yeah, she's not either. This has just come up in this
I
thing
don't know.
right here.
I think this is her life thing that contextualizes how she looks at everything. That's the impression I get.
Okay, man.
It comes off. Let me know if I'm wrong, but that's the impression I get. That
I
she
don't
really
like this
comes off like
character,
this.
and I don't like defending this show, but one conversation where she's like, you got to learn to control your anger, you got to learn to do this and that, and he's like, well, I've already been doing that because of this, and this, and this, okay, so stop it.
I
That
feel
doesn't...
And it comes off like a petulant friggin'
I think we're going
crybaby.
around in circles and need to move on.
Nah, like this scene is a horrible scene where she becomes off entitled to the extreme, and then she presumes that Bruce doesn't have to deal with anger issues. So much so where she does it to an she literally says, I'm an expert at controlling my anger in the moment of losing her anger, okay, because I do it infinitely more than you. Invalidating all the horrible crap he has had to deal with, the anger issues he would have to, like, he has like horrible things that he's experienced to an insane degree of her, and as a result, she comes off as like the most entitled brat in the world. And because the thing she lists is like, she's comparing herself to Bruce here, right? And so she's saying, people catcalling her and dismissing her things, everything. Bruce was on the run for years, homeless, hunted by the government. His life has been hell, and she has the friggin' gall to try and compare herself to him like she has a more oppressed life. Friggin' come off it, you cow. That's my response to her in this context. Can't believe it. So there's that scene, guys. That's just amazing. And then she turns into the Hulk, right? And then she turns back at an instant. This is the moment where she discovers that she can turn...
Back time?
At will. She can change into the Hulk and change back as she wishes. And Hulk, his response is like, what the hell's going on? He's like, how can she do it? She's just better. She's just better than him, you know? Okay, so... we get to this scene where who's going to protect the world if it's not people like us? She's like, no, it's not appealing to me. That was her response.
Fair enough.
I'm sorry, but that's not appealing.
Yeah.
Come on, like saving the world. Everyone's like, oh, it's not appealing to me.
Wouldn't be appealing to me.
What's okay? You're like, if you had the power to save people's lives.
Well, it depends. How many other superheroes are there?
What if you were the only one? And your response is, I'll let them die. It's just not
well, she's not the only one. She lives in a world where a billionaire in a fancy suit.
Yeah, but he's trying to say, what if? Like think about this because there is that reality.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And what if there is more to do that?
Well, it might not be appealing.
What if there's not?
But that's the point. Like there is in this universe. There's many.
No, there's heaps of situations where you're the only one in that moment to try and save them. Like what happens in the show.
When
the courtroom gets attacked.
Yeah, sure, then.
And she's still reluctant to.
Yeah, but that's literally the problem come to her workplace, the job she wants to do. She's got no choice there. But if it's like, quit your job now, go fight crime.
Nah, it's utter crap. Utter crap. Okay, so... and there's that same conversation where, Banner is legitimately trying to say important stuff to get her to realise knowledge, and she just is ignoring it. Completely, not caring, coming off incredibly cowardish and selfish again. And I would have less of an issue if they were setting it up like a Spider-Man arc where she learns from her mistakes and things like that. They're not going to do it. You know that they're not.
I know this show's not going to be good.
Yeah. But they're not going to teach her humility, that she's wrong, okay? And she's just going to do it because, I'm the best.
I understand her not wanting to do it, but I also think that if one has that power, they should use it to do something at least.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm not going to force anyone to do it.
It's like having the cure to cancer.
Hulks in real life.
But because it might, I'm like to...
No, it's not.
No, imagine you had the cure to cancer, but to do it, you had to give up your career.
What? How's that possible?
It's the same principle.
No, it's not the same principle, because how is that possible? It's not... If I had the cure to cancer...
Never mind. Oz, you don't want to go there, so we'll
I do want to go there. That's what I'm saying.
Another example someone gave in chat was that if you're rich, you're not and giving donations, you want to donate your wealth to the people because there's other rich people in the world.
Yeah.
So you have something that you can give to the world.
The best example is men going to war because they're directly correlated.
No, but you know why?
Result in death.
Because this is a different scale. She has insane amounts of power.
Doesn't matter if it's at a different scale. If I'm on a jet or if I'm on the ground in a tank, if I'm don't have any armor.
No, if you could stop the war by you entering into it. This isn't just another
potentially dying?
No, she wouldn't potentially die if she went to war.
Do you think
she's nearly invulnerable? But you're not looking at the scale.
The scale doesn't matter. If I'm in a tank, I'm invulnerable to gunshots, unless you got an anti-tank gun.
It's a false equivalence. But we've harped on that again and again, so we'll just move on. Okay, so that same conversation comes up here, and she just dodges the point. Okay, and again, it's like this is saving the world. She doesn't seem to care. Okay, and again, this is where she gives a line, it's not wrong that I'm choosing to help people the way I want, but again, that's ignoring the insane amount of power and capacity she has to help. She's ignoring what she is able to do with her power, and if there was another massive, horrible event like a supervillain attack, helping the people the way you want isn't going to help those people, and there's far fewer people to stop the supervillains than there are to help to be lawyers. And she suddenly has incredible, insane power, but she's ignoring that. That's why it's selfish. Okay, and so that's when she gets in the car, and that's where she's... Oh, this annoyed me as well. So, a car can just like knock over the Hulk now and send him flying.
Stupid.
Yeah, okay. There we go. So I couldn't believe that the Hulk just gets knocked crazy like that.
It's a big car?
So Hulk says, why wouldn't you learn from someone who's been through this before? Very valid, very important thing. Her response is, because we're different people. And that just comes off like a childish answer.
They are, though.
No. You're like, so therefore, don't learn from other people that's been through the same experience just because they're different people.
Well, they're not going through the same experience.
Are you kidding me? Well, there's a lot more in common than what's different here, and she should be being humble and learning from someone who's gone through this before. But
he went through 10 years of not controlling it and being hunted.
No, it's the childish mentality of not listening to other people and things. I don't need to listen to my parents or my elders or people who have experience or gone through this.
If it's parents or elders, why does it matter? If it's
what
truth,
do you mean?
If it's truth and it comes from source, it doesn't matter where it comes from.
Yeah. And
I agree.
Yeah.
he has some important stuff to tell her about this life, and her answer's like, we're different people. Oh, shut up.
They are, though.
But I think
That doesn't validate ignoring him.
But he couldn't control it when he got it, and she can.
Yeah, but what? Controlling the strength, being in Hulk mode,
No,
having
just
the power?
like she's.
That's the
she's got
point that is
agency.
trying to make.
But she's got agency, and he didn't.
I think she should be listening to him.
She's
but
ignoring him,
She
exactly.
might just be running away from the situation. Not like getting advice at least, or listening to any tips or advice he has to have, or just at least discussing the situation. But I get the impression she's running away from it.
I don't get that at all. They're not validating it or explaining that she has this fear and everything. To me, she's just like, I'm the best, I can handle it easy, let me get back to my own life.
Yeah.
All right, so then they have a fight, and he does the super clap, knocks her back, and then she learns a better super clap that, beats him vastly more, and because she's better than him, basically. And I don't know why it affects him
A better super clap or a different super clap?
She just does a lot more. Like, he does one big super clap, and then she goes...
Yeah, but he's holding his ears like it's damaging his,
Yeah, well, because
hearing.
it's like a sonic boom.
So why isn't it affecting it?
repeatedly.
She's closer to that point of,
But he only
It's
did
going
one.
away.
Yeah,
It's going by her.
but why isn't her clapping, the sound, the sonic booming, affecting her ears as much as him?
Because she's doing it in front. I don't know, Shad. I don't know.
Well, wouldn't it be like if someone with sonic voice did it away from them and it didn't affect their ears?
I mean, if I clap, I can still hear that clap.
To me, I don't know, she's not directing it at him. It's this sonic thing that's just, anyway. She learns it really easy because she's just better than him as well.
I'm just glad she didn't turn around and start twerking to get those claps.
Ooh, boy.
Actually, you know what? It's a missed opportunity.
Okay, so, and then after this fight, okay, nothing is essentially changed apart from the fact that she'll now physically fight him to get free. If anything, okay, this has shown that she is capable of losing her temper and lashing out physically and using her powers irresponsibly. So if anything, this means it is even more dangerous to let her go out. But Hulk is like, you can go now.
Well, to be fair, she fought to get free and he fought to keep her there.
They both fought each other, so yeah, she initiated essentially when she rammed him and everything.
Yeah.
But
If the guy won't move...
so, therefore, she's willing to use her power to get her way, cause
but
damage.
he's invulnerable, though.
So you think she wouldn't do that in the real world?
What, to a guy?
To misuse her powers, to not lose control and give in to her anger. To me, that scene just validated what Hulk was saying, is that you're not ready to go out, but then he's just like, yeah, you can go.
But, I mean...
Well, I suppose it'd be like if a guy punched another guy but wouldn't punch a lady.
And
She'd
also...
punch a Hulk, but she wouldn't punch a human. I mean, I like to think that, we don't know.
And also giving into your anger. I mean, would you say that Hulk gave into his anger for all those years?
What do you mean?
Like when he lost control and became
Yeah,
Hulk,
he had difficult controlling.
did he give into his anger or did he just get overpowered by it?
No, it's his party trick.
Yeah.
He's always angry.
And he tried to remove himself from the situations and protect other people as a result, where she was like, no, I'm fine, I'll control and go out
Well,
there.
I mean, just look at it. She can tie up regular rope without snapping it, right? She can drink from a thing without breaking
you're
the
right.
glass.
Yeah, she is perfect. You're right.
I'm not saying that. She can do the regular things
Yeah,
a
well,
regular
that's what
person
the
can
show
do.
That's the show
saying,
saying she's
yes.
better than him, and so she can handle it.
Okay.
Okay, and so they repair it, and they're eating the Cheetos
Like,
with
if
the
they have
chopsticks.
if they can limit their strength so greatly that they can literally eat chopsticks, not crush the thing of Cheetos instantly.
Like, I struggle with that, and I'm a stick.
Yeah, you can bet that she's not going to kill a cat the second she picks it up. You know, she's not going to crush someone's hand by shaking it.
I just
she's
imagine
perfect,
two
you're
Hulks
right.
using
No,
humans as chopsticks.
don't dodge it, Shad. She's literally being able to control her
She's
strength.
better than him, I know. And look at this. She can handle the chopsticks better than Hulk because they go to is the thing up, by the way, the screen?
Yeah,
Yep.
you're so good.
Oh, and yeah, and so, you know, he drops them, she holds him because she's better than him.
Well, who's been
Yeah.
doing it the whole time? She
Yeah.
has. She taught
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, just like those gymnastics.
What do you get? Are you okay, Shad?
Because she's an awfully written Mary Sue character.
Yeah, I
that's
don't
what I'm
doubt it,
saying.
but I'm just trying to be like, if you're going to
No,
have
no,
reasons-
you're trying to give it charity where it doesn't deserve. This
No,
is
it's
utter
just
crap.
if you're going to judge something for a reason,
Yeah,
then
I'm
you're
giving
going to
my
be
reasons.
consistent with the reasons.
I am very much consistent. Alrighty, and so it is just crap. And then she decides to drive from Mexico. And this raises a question, is like, they did mention they're in Mexico, and the context was they got there in like a night. You know, where were they when...
Why were they going again? I don't even remember.
I don't know. See,
Oh,
they
they
were
were just
driving in the
together.
car,
Oh, they're just hanging out as cousins.
but in the bar didn't strike me as Mexico. It'll strike me as, I don't know, some place near LA,
Just a beach
maybe.
bar.
Yeah, something. But anyway, they get from there to his bungalow in Mexico in a night. And so I'm thinking, well, he must have a jet or some kind.
Oh no, he can jump really far.
Oh, maybe he just jumped
no,
there.
he's in
No, he
Hulk
can.
form.
He's
I mean,
the Hulk. He
human.
can jump like
Human
several.
form.
He can jump a couple kilometers in a single bound.
He doesn't... It's never depicted him in the
Someone just
MCU
said
as
they were
that...
in California.
Oh, they're in California.
Unless that's
that
a
was his
joke.
means of transportation. He would travel over vast different distances.
Yeah.
No, not in the
He can-
MCU. They didn't show that. Like,
That's his powers. He can jump really far.
not in the MCU. I know he can jump really far, but they haven't depicted him doing that as a means of transportation. Not in the MCU. He jumps in the jets. He has been flying around in the Avengers jet and all that stuff. And when he wanted to escape, when he wanted to
when he's
get away
found
from Ultron, he jumped in the Avenger plane. Was it the Quinjet? Anyway, it just brings up a continuity as like, she's gonna just drive. That's a long, long way to drive, and you know.
What should she do instead?
I don't know. It's like I assumed Hulk would have had like a plane of some kind to
In
get
that
there.
case,
so
how did they
quickly.
get there?
Exactly. That's my question. How did
Oh.
Hulk get there?
Is Bruce Banner the kind of guy who uses jets to get around?
He's smart. He
On
wouldn't be
his own?
beyond him. Maybe he probably needs something that big to carry how big he is.
I don't know. He
Strikes
jumped.
me as a more.
He jumped
I'll
up
take
to
economy
Sokovia.
just because
Yeah,
kind
he
of guy.
just jumped. Okay, and so back to the present. Oh, wasn't that great? That was a great backstory, guys.
It's almost
What a
over.
great character. Yay, this is... so interesting, right? She says, my family know, and her friend knows, and, like, you know, that's important character development stuff.
Yeah.
Their reactions
I
might
thought
have been
so.
interesting to
Skipped
see, but
over
we'll
all
just
that.
brush that over, and, all right. Again, it feels like the writers, they lack the competence to be able to make something interesting out of those interactions. We'll just brush it under the carpet, move forward. No, nothing to worry about or see here. Literally, nothing to see here, because it's crap. And that's that. So, oh, and she says, basically, I was right and Bruce was wrong. And I'll never have to be the Hulk again. I never have to be a
I'm
Hulk.
hoping that's gonna come across as she's
I know,
a Hulk
that's
at the end of
contradicted in the show.
Yeah.
So that was one of the few times where her I'm so right was actually contextualized in the show that she's wrong.
Yeah.
One of the few. Still makes her come off as narcissistic as hell. Okay. I was right, Bruce was wrong. And the fact is, like, I'll be interesting to see if the next episode she acknowledges, like, all right, Bruce, you might have had something. You might have had a point in what you're saying.
We will not
see
know
if
until next week.
the writers are that self-aware to acknowledge that you know, maybe she should have listened to Bruce a bit, because in this very scene it's contextualized that Bruce was right and she was wrong. But you know, we'll see if there's going to be a shred of humility there. All right, they get to the scene and the supervillain attacks. So we'll, yeah, if you could take it down. There we go.
It's so random and out of nowhere and doesn't go anywhere.
This is pretty amazing.
Why is she there?
We don't know. Not only
It
that,
doesn't even feel like a cliffhanger because it gets resolved.
the continuity editing of this is horribly bad, like amazingly bad. I'll show you, like, there are multiple continuity errors in what's happening. So pay attention to where she's standing. Yeah. So she's there. She's there. The response of her is to run and hide, even though she should, like, I've got Hulk powers, but no, I'll run and hide. This person is probably here to kill people. Really bad situation. So her reaction annoys the hell out of me, because not only that, she stays there for a good few seconds in this time frame. The editing is so bad that they have this bad lady, basically she must have been standing there doing nothing, where multiple people could have died, but this is a good time has passed, and in the terms of like a violent, shocking attack, this could be an eternity. She could have like murdered 10 people easily in this time frame.
How hasn't she?
Exactly.
She's wrestling with the guards off screen. On the right, you can see her leg.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
But just standing here, like, nothing is going on here. And then she's like, turn to the Hulk. But I don't want to. And this really pissed me. I was like, people's lives are at risk. But I don't want to.
But I don't want to be a Hulk.
Like,
5 more minutes.
Come off it, lady. This encapsulates how loathsome I find this character right here. And it confirms all the things. Like, you know, all those moments, points all through the whole episode where it's all about me, selfishness, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Summed up right here. And then she's encouraged to actually go do it. And I want to catch what she said there, because... if you could take it down, Nathan.
It would have been better if she'd been like, go Hulk out. And then she says, oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, you know...
That's something I can do.
Maybe she would have come off pretty dumb, but maybe she's not used to it, right? Okay,
fight or flight.
Granted, but they don't do that. You're right. It would have been better if they did something like that. But instead, this lady comes. If you bring it up again, Nathan. So she's like, "Do you think?
She could have been like, oh, that's right, I can." And then hold my shoes, and then go off.
But her response to "Do you think?" is like this. Ready? Now in front of everyone. Like people probably getting murdered and ripped apart. It's like, what, you want me to change in front of everyone? Oh, I couldn't stand it. And then, so further encouragement, like, no, you really need to do this. Yeah, well, like, people dying, lady.
You've heard of the fight or flight response, right? Clearly flight.
Oh, but she was so confident and perfect and she could do everything and, you know, I'm so great and everything. And it's like, oh, where's all, you know... So, like...
Maybe this is a character weakness you were looking for.
No, because then when she turns into it, is there any fear or hesitation at all? She just walks in like she owns everything, smacks down, wins the fight. I'm so perfect.
Well, that's why it's the opposite of her then.
Nah.
This is stupid.
Alright. Yeah, go on. And instead of like, yeah, lives are in danger and everything, it's like, her response is, I really like this dress.
Well,
she's reluctant
still wrestling with the guards.
Yeah. And I like, it's just like, what are you doing? It's like, yeah, hurry up. I really like this outfit. And then, again, people's lives are in danger. She's still not there because, I need to take my shoes off. My shoes are more important than stopping this mad woman who might be murdering people.
Actually, I think her friend says, the shoes.
But then she's like, yeah, take my shoes off.
Yeah.
The mad woman isn't murdering people. She's wrestling with 2 guards.
I know, and like she's strong enough to throw a desk, because like so she could rip these people apart. She's just standing there, basically doing nothing.
She broke through a concrete wall.
She broke through a freaking concrete. Yes, I mean,
it's dumb writing
and awful actually, because again,
convenient.
Exactly, she was strong enough to break through a concrete wall, throw a desk, and yet she's struggling with 2 average security guards for that entire sequence.
Maybe they're superheroes.
Oh, I wish.
Super guards.
That would be a better.
That would be a cool story.
Exactly. Superhero security guards, better show than She-Hulk.
No, their superhero name would be like Law Guardian, because they're literally.
Okay, so she's standing in front of the thing, right?
Yeah.
Who the hell are you? Watch where she is.
Says the lady.
So, I know, it's like, I'm Jennifer Walters. Attorney at law. And now, hang on. How did she get there? That's the side of the room, where before she was in front of the thing. Now she's on the side, and she picks up the desk. It's like, okay. But do we remember where She-Hulk was? She was standing in the middle of the room.
I don't remember.
Okay, so we could say she runs, catches the thing. Pay attention to where her arm is when she catches it. See, it's on the side? Okay. Now it went on top, and then the very next cut, she's in a different position. It's like they're not paying attention to the continuity and progress of this at all. She throws it, lands on her. She is now underneath the desk. Cuts to She-Hulk, and then suddenly she's not underneath the desk, and she's just running. It's like,
I think
what's going on?
This...
It looks like they might be cutting things out for time, maybe?
I feel like they cut out heaps of stuff because of budget and everything. Because this is like a mishmash. They're picking random parts out of like something and throwing it together.
Like there needs to be things in between, and they're cutting it out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this movie was made by Christopher Nolan.
Oh my goodness. That looks so awkward. They're like, wire work was obvious as hell. Punch! Down! And everyone cheers because she's so great and wonderful. That was like...
That didn't sound like real cheering either. That was a cheer track.
My goodness. And then like, now to my closing statements.
Yeah, lady, there's going to be a recess. Someone just tried to kill the jury, all of them.
No, but it's funny comedy.
There's a hole in the wall.
Oh my goodness. Horrible cuts, horrible fight scene overall. Anticlimactic. Interesting though, this is a lot of what they showed in the first trailer.
Yeah.
And so I'd be interested to see what happens in later
On the
episodes.
Tinder arc.
Oh my goodness, that's going to be hilarious.
That's going to be the truest part of the whole thing.
All right. And that's it. There is the after credit scene where we've already talked about where more basically Captain America had sex, guys. Yeah.
I missed that. I stopped watching as soon as the credits rolled.
Oh.
Actually, no, I watched all the pictures and then I stopped watching.
Yeah, it's right after the pictures. See right here. And so this is like she's crying because she thinks, oh, Steve Rogers, he never got to do it because
does it go for?
only a couple, like not even a minute really.
A couple of seconds?
Yeah.
Is it too long to watch?
It's like maybe a minute. Yeah, it would get us pinged if we watch the whole thing. Again, but she's like crying because she thinks Captain America never had sex, and it's like, well, that's not the greatest thing in the world or life. There are more important things than just having casual, meaningless sex with people. But it's important to her enough to cry about it.
Crying? I thought they didn't get drunk.
Well,
she's human.
She's trying to get the truth out of him because he tells her, and then she's like, yes, it's like, what? You're not drunk? And so she was begging him to try and get the truth out of it. And
why?
The truth.
Why is this show obsessed with this?
I know, right? And it undermines Captain America's wholesomeness and everything. Contradicts the Captain America movie because it was clear that he hadn't kissed a woman. And like, well after the point where he says he did it with someone.
Just because you didn't kiss doesn't mean you didn't have sex.
Also, there's that. The thing is though, any person who really knows the vague public story of Steve Rogers would kind of probably figure out that after the thawing and stuff, he might have had a relationship with someone. There were moments in between. And so even the framing and contextualization for her to justify this position is misrepresented the past.
Sorry, thawing sounds like what it's like to have sex with Thor. After the thawing. Another! But what did he throw? Makes a splash sound.
But anyway, that's the comedy, because her ending thing is Captain America fur, and then it cuts before she gets to the K.
Oh.
That's funny, guys. Isn't she a funny, quirky character?
Stupid.
Well, saying the words Captain America, I wish I could scream it. Just screaming that is a funny sentence to say. As a comedian,
Cringe.
as a try-hard comedian, I can admit. Haven't you seen George Carlin's Things You're Not Allowed to Say on the TV? See, that's how bloody zoomer I am. You're not allowed to say on TV? Or his little, what was it? He's got like a sports call, a sports song that is just pure profanity, and it's the funniest thing ever. Naughty words can be fun.
Nah, that one came off as cringe. Very, very cringe. And that's She-Hulk, guys. She-Hulk episode 1. Hey, there's all the notes. All the notes. Wow. What an incredible piece of crap.
Do you think she'll be in Better Call Saul?
I don't know. Amazing. Now, it is hilarious in all the worst ways that they don't want. This is going to be such great fun to just roast, and we appreciate you guys joining us. But we're doing, because we're streaming this one, we're streaming, we still have a bit of fun to have.
We have some super chats.
We have super chats, exactly, to go through. So we're going to just hang out with you guys, do some follow. And look, because super chats will probably react to things we said while we've been discussing it, it'll bring in further discussion of the She-Hulk stuff. So more stuff to get into, more fun. And is the screen down? Because I'll bring up the super chats.
You know, Better Call Saul has Xavier in it.
Who dat?
Charles Esposito, whatever his name is. Carlos Esposito.
Alrighty. All right, so Daniel Todd for you for $10 US says, "Hey guys, I'm watching your guys' review and other people's too because the Hulk is my favorite character and I'm assuming they screwed him. Thank you for suffering so I don't have to."
Why is he your favourite?
Hulk, there's a lot to like about the Hulk.
Yeah, but not his own thing. It's like
Oh
everyone
nah,
likes...
give him a break.
Yeah, people like Hawkeye, but his own comic book.
I know. Look, no,
Hulk has
seeing current day Marvel ruin great established characters is just a travesty. I feel for you, mate. Thank you for the super chat. Hey Claudia, do you want to handle this one? Because that is a DB.
DU5L for USD $10. Decided to make a drinking game with the show alongside a friend. Seeing how they can't make a trial show, take a shot every time a court session is interrupted. I had to take one, I may survive.
You took
Oh,
one
I
shot.
had to make one, I may survive.
Oh.
Charles W. Jensen, the second, sorry, for $10 US says, "I have opted to order and watch the Incredible Hulk TV show and the TV movies on Blu-ray instead. Good choice, sir." That's the old school one with Louis Ferrigno. I think I'm pronouncing his name poorly, but I hope you enjoy it, mate. Better choice than this crap. Shulk, She-Hulk. We're talking about, not this stream. This stream is top tier. Watching us.
Yeah, I've seen better.
Good cultural experience. Todd Howard. Wow, Todd. Great to have you, Todd.
I'm buying
I
Skyrim,
don't think
promise.
you're the real Todd. Maybe, but it's a common name. Maybe he's just Todd
Be
Howard.
more respectful to Mr. Howard, please.
Yeah, okay. For $9.99 US, it would be an interesting catastrophe to see Disney try to adapt the Immortal Hulk run. I'd be curious yet horrified to see them pull it off. Gosh, at this point, I don't want to see him adapt anything. Just awful.
I'd like them to adapt some change.
Nikki D for $5 US. Do you guys think this show is worse than Loki?
Yes.
So far, yes. This first episode is probably it's like the worst first episode of any Disney show, Marvel show ever made so far. I mean, it is incredibly crap.
Yeah.
Kenobi had signs of competence in episode 1. They usually try
Disagree.
You disagree? See,
Disagree.
me and Nathan thought Kenobi was...
He had his lightsaber on his hilt in full view.
I'm not saying that's not retarded, but there were signs
I
of it.
didn't hate Kenobi.
Yeah, look, going back, I had
Episode
rose-tinted
1?
glasses.
Yeah,
I wanted it to be good, but
You have regular glasses too.
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
Everyone here does, but me.
he has glasses.
I'm like a superhero compared to you people.
Okay. All right. Georgie Go, Oz.
Georgie Giavi.
Yeah, there we go.
Georgiev. Georgiev?
It-
Oh,
the
Georgie
V is at the
Georgiev.
end.
Georgie Georgiev. Claudia, you make fun of my dyslexia.
You don't have a dyslexia.
I do. I couldn't dyslexia the cure for. Anyway, what was the thing? Okay. Angry Joe loved it. I think they shilled hard. Please look at their review. No, thank you.
No, actually, I might be interested to do some reply, ones to some of the
For
worst
Angry
takes.
Joe?
I like Angry Joe, but he is, my impression, he's really good with his video game reviews, but his media TV reviews, he usually has some very normie takes.
I don't like it.
It's like he usually shares a more mainstream kind of thing, and he thinks some atrocious crap is good in some of his reviews, and this is one of them, apparently, because this is utter garbage.
Of course he likes the Hulk show. His name's Angry Joe.
But look, like I said, I like Angry Joe. We clearly disagree on some of our takes in media. More so TV shows and everything. That's where, yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's brutal. I'm a child of divorce. I can answer this, by the way.
All right, go on, Oz.
Oh, the field. Do you have a single aunt who can't come to terms with her lost youth, so she drinks lots and talks about how funny her cats are and how crap men are?
Sounds similar to the She-Hulk character, but
I think that's what he was getting
yeah,
at.
maybe. I'm being sarcastic, of course. All right, go Oz.
Oh. Zlivza.
Zavissa.
Oh, we saw this one. We read it out live.
Shad's new superhero persona should be Captain Virginity.
You know that poster was like, I want you to stay a virgin.
The next
Keep
one.
your virgin until you're married.
Cock block yourself. show them your show them your reproduction Captain America shield. They won't want any of it. Do you have protection? Oh boy, yeah, I do.
If you really want to protect your virginity, learn nunchucks. Does a great job of that.
Never mind. I've got two things tied together I could use as nunchucks.
Charles W. Jensen for $10 US. Nathan's losing it. Hulk was usually accused of doing evil things, but had actually done something to save people. He's misunderstood. In many ways, he was.
Do you think there was a military guy? I want pictures! Pictures of Hulk!
All right, go, Claudia. Someone, I'm trying to...
Kiyoshido. Hi, I finally caught you online. This chat is for the live stream. Where was the trailer for film Medieval? If you are interested in info about more castles, I sent you more in summary by email. Subject Medieval trailer.
Well, if you're interested, I actually did a whole live stream on Shadiversity looking at the trailer for the film Medieval. Go check it out. It's there. I've done it.
Oh, okay. That one says my name in it.
Okay, go.
Tyson R. For the Oz humour... Smiley face. Also, still ready for those D&D sessions. Sadly, we are not.
We're not ready yet. Maybe someday. The field for $20 US.
Flagellate.
Flagellate.
Transitive verb to a whip or flog. Scourge. To reproach. Scourge. To reproach or punish severely. Flagellate.
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 Thank you. Maybe I was using it out of context. But no, when you say, like, self-flagellate, like, is like...
Flatulence.
maybe...
Self-flatulence.
Is
You
like...
make someone else.
Yeah, anyway.
Half of that word sounds gross. Flag.
Moving on. Chris for 500 knock. Thank you, sir. Thank you for watching this dumpster fire, so I don't have to. Thank you. You are welcome, sir.
You're welcome.
Claudia, go.
Child Dude 342. Banner suffered childhood abuse that gave him suppressed DID. When he was exposed to gamma radiation, it gave his personalities a form, the Hulk.
Dissociative identity disorder, DID, for those who don't know.
Be interesting if they explored that in the show,
Yes.
though. We skipped one, though. There's Darius Harvey.
Darius Harvey. If they had proofreaders and they went against their writing, I'd bet they were fired.
Probably.
Happened with Amazon Lord of the Rings thing, eh?
Alrighty. Who wants to do this one?
It's short.
It's from GMLNTM38328.
Thank you, JLM.
$1.09, I think. First super for you guys. Love the show. Thanks. And thank you, mate. We appreciate it. Yeah. Bearded Devil, 1864 for $5 US. You all should read the original source material, The Savage She-Hulk, for comparison. It will enrage you seeing what they've done to her character. I very much expect so. They ruin the source material so much.
I'll read the next one. Max R. Shad coming at Oz with logic. Oz is getting emotional and not coming at Shad with logic, but feels. Take the L, man, or just simp harder. Both are fun.
Oh, at least we can entertain you. We appreciate it. All right, so we will...
Oh, you keep calling me that. Your shoes will be clean on Monday, by the way.
All right. We just need to make sure we're up to date. No,
There was one more.
was it? Oh, yes, I think so. Okay, yeah, yes. Wolfspan for $2 US. Tell them to read the World War Hulk and come back to us.
I feel like that's talking to me, because I keep saying it's lame.
Yeah, I heard I hear good things from World War Hulk. All right.
Is it like the entire world fights Hulk and they can't stop him? Because that'd be cool.
Or
That's
is
it.
Or is it lots and lots of Hulks fighting?
Fighting the world?
The world.
Fighting one dude? One regular dude?
Yeah. I wonder who would win.
Alrighty, is that us up to date with the super chats?
That is up to date.
What if he just hides really good?
Alrighty.
Hide and seek.
Well, there we go. That's been She-Hulk episode 1. Utter crap. Thank you for joining us.
Oh.
everyone. Wow.
Oh!
The field
big
says
one
you
too.
skipped my other one.
Oh,
Did we? I thought we got them all. I'll check the field.
got it.
We
But
also just got a big one.
go, take it.
XL Visa for $100 said thanks to the entire crew for suffering through these train wrecks of human excrement masquerading as TV shows, so I don't have to.
You are welcome, sir.
You're very welcome.
We will always do it, for we always stay on watch. But we're not going away yet. Usually that would be a good sign-off, but we're not. Because it was...
The field, which one did we miss?
We got there's a
But you did
field
a few.
flagellate, the
There it
field
is.
from the sorry, for $5 US, thank you, sir. From the available evidence, Shad is Captain Impregnator. From the
There's gotta be-
available evidence.
There's
just
got to be a
saying.
better name for it, though. There's got to be a better name for it.
Don't do it.
There's got to be.
Alrighty,
And then we got two more.
two
now.
more, I saw them.
I've got a name for it.
Hot Dice. Always love you, Shad. Was so happy to find Night's Watch and learn how based you are. Oz and Claudia, you guys are awesome too. If I wasn't in the US, I'd lend you my hammer on the Shadlands. Dude, thank you. Very
You're
much
awesome
appreciated.
too, Nathan.
You are.
Thanks.
So that was from Hot Dice and Veldrain 1178, $5. If the writers were in middle school doing a school project, I'd like to congratulate them at writing for a show at their grade level.
So, sorry, about that, the one above that, I just have to ask a question. That is Nathan?
Where are you pointing?
That's
There's no one there.
I can see him right there.
What?
I need to take my medication again, don't I?
Alrighty, wrapping up now. Thank you guys, everyone joining us. Really appreciate it. We do hope to see you next time. As we always, stay on watch. And we'll sign off now. Do you want to say goodbye, guys?
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Farewell, so long. Da, da, da.
Good luck. We're all
Stay
counting on you.
watchful.